We are already ready to 2033. Today, we give this message. When the election is coming 2023, that time when the Karnataka government did not did our 2 year reservation. We are already
झाके रे झाके झरोके से झाके देख के दंग है छोटे बड़े सारे झाके रे झाके फ्यूचर को ये ताके तरक्की को टुक टुक हर कोई ताके झाके रे झाके
Reimagineering brighter futures with smarter steels. ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel India. Smarter steels, brighter futures.
टाइम पे खा लेना। और कल सुबह अपॉइंटमेंट है, भूलना मत।
अरे 2 दिन के लिए तो जा रहे हो।
हाँ, लेकिन ख्याल तो पूरी जिंदगी रखूंगा ना।
HDFC लाइफ एन्युटी प्लान्स के जॉइंट लाइफ फीचर के साथ रखिए अपनों का ख्याल हमेशा। HDFC लाइफ, सर उठा के जियो।
With Beto's Diabetes Care Program, you get online doctor consultations, all your prescribed medicines and dietitian support on call. Get your complete diabetes management kit and expert advice with Beto's Diabetes Care Program. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
Volkswagen Tiguan, India's safest SUVW.
Volkswagen.
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
क्या हुआ रोहन, क्या सोच रहा है?
रिया, पहली सैलरी मिली है, तुम भी कुछ आइडिया दो, एक्सपेंसेस को कैसे प्लान किया जाए।
रोहन, एक्सपेंसेस के साथ साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान करना भी जरूरी है।
देखो, सैलरी का कुछ हिस्सा घर के रेगुलर खर्चे के लिए और कुछ मैं अपने लिए भी तो सोच सकता हूँ ना, लेकिन इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करूँ?
सिंपल है, एनपीएस में।
एनपीएस में? रिया, अभी तो मैंने कमाना शुरू किया है, इतना आगे के लिए अभी से क्यों पैसे जोड़ूं?
वो देखो, एक एक करके ईंट जोड़ी जाती है, तब जाके एक घर तैयार होता है। वैसे ही अभी से पैसे जोड़कर हम भी अपना रिटायरमेंट सुखी बना सकते हैं।
बात में तो दम है।
एनपीएस कम लागत वाली फ्लेक्सिबल लॉन्ग टर्म योजना है, जिससे आपकी बचत ग्रो होकर पेंशन का लाभ देती है।
अच्छा, फिर तो मैं अभी अपना एनपीएस अकाउंट ओपन करता हूँ।
जो कल की सोचते हैं वो आज से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा जोड़ते हैं।
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं। एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है।
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy addressed the members of the US Congress on his first visit to the United States. Zelenskyy said, against all odds, Ukraine did not fail. Ukraine is alive and kicking. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy unfurled a Ukrainian flag at the conclusion of his speech before a joint meeting of Congress. He further added, this flag is a symbol of Ukraine's victory in the war against Russia. And Ukrainian President Zelenskyy won vows of long-term US support, including a new missile defense system during his first foreign trip since Russia's invasion. President Biden promised him, saying Ukraine will never stand alone. And coming up after a short break, top health ministry sources say the government is to issue fresh guidelines for travelers from China.
ऑलराउंडर हम भी है।
और तुम्हारा किचन
कभी स्टेन्स, कभी जर्म्स, तो कभी पानी। आपकी किचन और बाथरूम्स को चाहिए MYK लेटिक्रीट SP100, टाइल जॉइंट का ऑलराउंडर। MYK लेटिक्रीट SP100, जोड़ हो तो ऐसा।
Your favorite service provider, 10, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो।
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call 10 toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
आइए नए उत्तर प्रदेश की क्षमता और असीमित अवसरों से सफलता की नई कहानी लिखें। यूपी ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर्स समिट 10 से 12 फरवरी 2023। नए भारत के ग्रोथ इंजन उत्तर प्रदेश में निवेश करें।
इक्विटी में इन्वेस्ट कर, ग्रोथ का है चांस। डेट में है लो रिस्क, बात मेरी मान।
गोल्ड सिर्फ गोल्ड, भैया ने भी यही किया।
सुन सबकी कर मल्टी, मतलब मल्टी एसेट एलोकेशन फंड्स, यानी 3-in-1 फंड। ये इक्विटी, डेट, गोल्ड तीनों में एक साथ इन्वेस्ट करें। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेज ध्यान पूर्वक पढ़ें।
जैन 2022 से अब तक रोहन 6 बार डंप हुआ है। हर गर्लफ्रेंड को एक्स के नाम से जो बुलाया, बट रोहन वो तो लहरा रहा है, क्योंकि जियो मार्ट के ग्रैंड फिनाले सेल में शॉपिंग पर मिलेगा अप टू 80% ऑफ। तो साल जैसा भी गया हो, एंडिंग तो जबरदस्त होगी।
Guys, just 1 second. Choosing a car for my mom.
What? Online car shopping? Wow, that's so cool, yeah.
शाहरुख ने बताया।
Wait up. Booking a car service.
From here.
क्यों? तुझे शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया?
इसने पूछा ही नहीं। There's so much more जो शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया। It's all on the industry first My Hyundai app. Open a world of possibility with My Hyundai app. One app, many worlds.
Headlines at 11 a.m. India goes back to COVID mode as fears over F7 variant grows. Government reviews preparedness, pushes for genome sequencing. Amid the wake of new COVID variant, Prime Minister Modi to chair crucial COVID review meet this afternoon. Top health ministry sources say government to issue fresh guidelines for travellers from China. Not just center, states ramp up preparations and increase surveillance. TMC leader mocks traditional Meghalaya attire. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma hits back. In his first trip outside Ukraine since Russian invasion, Zelenskyy lands in United States. Biden welcomes Zelenskyy. Thanks for tuning in this morning. We are live and breaking. We start with breaking news coming in of the massive protests taking place. Sandeep there at the location where the Lingayat community is staging a protest in Belagavi. So massive protest there in uproar in Lingayat among the Lingayat community demanding reservation. Sandeep there getting us those live updates. The demand is reservation in government jobs. So the Lingayat community there facing massive protests, and this of course comes just ahead of the assembly polls which will happen in Karnataka early next year. Well, those are the live visuals also coming in right now of the prominent Lingayat faces who are there in Belagavi. So a massive show of strength by the Lingayat community as the leaders. The Lingayat community leaders are present there in large numbers demanding reservation in government jobs. All right, we'll go across to Sandeep as well for more updates on that. But these are the live visuals that are just coming in of the Lingayat community there. Those are the prominent leaders from the Lingayat community who are paying tributes to their leaders and demanding, staging a protest, in fact, demanding reservation in government jobs. So massive show of strength there in Belagavi. The primary demand of the Lingayat community is reservation in government jobs. Sandeep, present there at the location. Sandeep, take us through the updates you're picking up. We see a massive show of strength there by the Lingayat community.
See, indeed, a massive protest was called out by the Lingayat, Pancham Sali Lingayat community in order to demand reservation in 2A category. And in fact, they demand a reservation in education and in fact in government jobs as well. Now, more than 2 lakhs people are expected out here in order to gherao the Vidhan Saudar. In fact, you can see in the visuals, my video journalist Bhagat is showing you exclusive and beautiful shots being taken by Bhagat. You can see in the visuals, BJP leaders are also present there. The Lingayat prominent seer, Jai Mrityunjay Maharaj is also there. And they have in fact warned the government. Remember, there are several MLAs, MPs in BJP government in Karnataka, and they have also warned the Bombay government in Karnataka. They mentioned that if at all they do not get reservation, 2A category reservation in Karnataka in government jobs and education, then they will in fact give the answer in upcoming Karnataka elections. Remember, there are only few months left for the Karnataka election, and now the protest will move from here. They have just offered the garland. Remember, Congress party, BJP and rest of the other party in Karnataka are supporting this reservation, but it is more as far as the bites are concerned, the thoughts of the BJP leaders that we spoke today in the morning, who in fact belong to Lingayat community, they have assured, they mentioned that they have been assured by Bombay government and in fact Chief Minister himself, and a strong decision could be taken by today Karnataka government in order to allot the reservation to the Pancham Sali Lingayat community. And remember, they have directly threatened the BJP government in Karnataka, although the BJP leaders are also making allegations against Congress party. They are mentioning that Congress party is politicizing this protest, but yes, they are very much positive that the Bombay government in Karnataka, the Bharatiya Janata Party led government in Karnataka will allot the reservation. In fact, the protest has now moved. The protest has now moved from my VJ Bhagat is showing you exclusive visuals. Protests have now started moving from this location, and now they will be going. To Vidhan Sauda. Now Vidhan Sauda is 20 kilometers away. 20 kilometers away from this location, and you can see heavy police force has been deployed to make sure no law and order situation takes place in Belgaum, and also no violence takes place. This is the massive crowd, more and more crowd from across Karnataka is expected to join. More than 2 lakh people are expected. Samiksha, more than 2 to 3 lakhs people are expected out here. And remember, see these visuals, heavy police deployment, massive crowd is out here, and they are leading towards Vidhan Sauda. And it will be very much crucial. A cabinet meeting is also held today, and CM Bombay will be taking a call over allotting reservation reservation, and in fact it will be important to see what kind of things happen, and then it will be important to see whether Chief Minister Bommai will allot reservation or not. Samiksha, back to you with these visuals.
Yes, Sandeep, stay with us. If you can talk to us more about, how important it is for the BJP at this point in time to assuage the concerns of the Lingayat community, given the fact that they comprise a major vote bank in the state of Karnataka.
See, Samiksha, yes, it is very much important for Bharatiya Janata Party as well to provide reservation, to Lingayat community, because remember, there are just few, the election is just few months, the elections in Karnataka have left with few months, and in fact, we'll speak to the CA. Sir, massive protest has been called by the Lingayat community, demand of reservation. What do you think, what will happen today?
Today is the do or die day. हमको हमारा सरकार ने 2A कोटा फुलफिल किया था, हमने सम्मान करेंगे, नहीं फुलफिल किया हमके डू और डाई आंदोलन शुरू किया, विधानसभा प्रवेश किया था।
But are you expecting that Chief Minister of Karnataka will take a call on providing reservation to Lingayat community?
हाँ, हमको 2A कैटेगरी, ऑलरेडी हम थर्ड भी है, हमको 2A कैटेगरी में 15% है, हमको समाज को बहुत बैकवर्ड है, हम गरीबी लोग हैं, शैक्षणिक और उद्योग से बहुत बड़ा बैकवर्ड है, इसलिए हमको विनती किया था हमारा सामाजिक न्याय से, सोसाइटी से, संविधान का आशय के हमको डिमांड
अगर रिजर्वेशन नहीं मिलता है तो उसका रिएक्शन चुनाव में दिखेगा बीजेपी के खिलाफ
100%। वो हम आज हमको डिसाइड करेंगे, अगर उसने कोटा फुलफिल किया था 2023 में कैसे प्लान करेंगे, नहीं फुलफिल किया था हमको ये बीजेपी को हमारे समाज ने ये 2023 इलेक्शन में बहुत बड़ा मैसेज किया।
बीजेपी के बहुत सारे नेता जो लिंगायत कम्युनिटी से संबंध रखते हैं, उन लोगों ने भी आप लोगों को सपोर्ट किया है। उम्मीद है आप लोगों को कि रिजर्वेशन मिल जाएगा।
हमको विनती करते हैं, हाँ हमारा समाज बीजेपी में 80% वोट है, हमारा 22 MLA 2 MP है, 4 MLC है, 3 कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर है, इसलिए बीजेपी के बहुत बड़ा वोट बैंक हमारा पंचमसाल है, हमको छोड़कर वो नहीं राजनीति किए थे, इसलिए हम बसराज बोम्मई को विनती करते हैं आप हमारा 2A कोटा को फुलफिल करें।
So we'll just move back to another leader. What do you think? Will CM Bommai will allot reservation today?
See, he's taken the deadline. We have not given the deadline. He only taken 19th of December. But still, he's I don't know what pressure he have in the government. But he has promised us, he has to announce today. Otherwise, we are going to attack Suvarna Sauda. We'll go and we'll sit in Suvarna Sauda and we'll start the agitation continuously.
As you rightly heard, now BJP leader is with us. We'll get his reaction. भारी संख्या में आप लोग विधान सौदा में कूच कर रहे हैं, क्या होगा, क्या आज निर्णय आएगा?
जो हमारा प्रदर्शन, शक्ति प्रदर्शन है, मुख्यमंत्री बोम्मई जी ने आज सकारात्मक निर्णय लेंगे। अगर सकारात्मक निर्णय नहीं लिया तो उसका जो भी असर है उसको कोई भविष्य में ये कुछ भी हुआ तो उसको मुख्यमंत्री बोम्मई जिम्मेदार होगा।
एक बात बताइए, बीजेपी की सत्ता जो है वो केंद्र में है, बीजेपी की सत्ता जो है कर्नाटका में है, देन व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम दैट बीजेपी इज स्टिल टेकिंग टाइम टू अलॉट रिजर्वेशन?
केंद्र सरकार ने बोम्मई जी को डायरेक्शन दिया है 2A देने के लिए, अभी तक बोम्मई जी ने निर्णय नहीं ले रहे। ये पूरा जिम्मेदारी बोम्मई जी का है, केंद्र सरकार का नहीं है, केंद्र का हमारा भारतीय जनता पार्टी का नहीं है, सिर्फ मुख्यमंत्री बोम्मई इसका जिम्मेदारी लेना पड़ेगा।
So you just heard the BJP leader is also mentioning that if at all CM Bommai does not take a call today, then this will definitely hamper the upcoming election. And a direct threat has been in fact given by the seer of Lingayat community. He mentions that if at all the government fails to give reservation, the 2A category reservation, then definitely it will impact on the upcoming elections. Samiksha, over to you. Samiksha, with these visuals. Bhagat is showing you the visuals. The visuals out here, the massive protest. Samiksha, over to you.
Yes, Sandeep, we'll come back to you. Stay with us. Just to tell our viewers, these are the visuals, in fact, coming in from Karnataka's Belagavi, where it's a massive show of strength by the Lingayat leaders who've gathered in large numbers. They have one demand, and that is reservation in government jobs. That's a demand from the Karnataka government. Remember, Karnataka is all set to go for polls early next year, and that's a big challenge there that lies ahead for the Karnataka government, for the ruling dispensation to allay the concerns of the Lingayat leaders. The Lingayat leaders there, in fact, issuing an open warning saying that this would have repercussions if their demand is not paid heed to by the Karnataka government. So there you can see the Lingayat community leaders who are present in large numbers are saying that they want reservation in government jobs in Karnataka. We are yet to get more reactions from the Karnataka government. Sandeep, of course, continues to be with us. Sandeep, we understand that a short while back, Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai had also spoken. In fact, he briefed the media. Any reactions you are picking up from the ruling dispensation?
Who's going to highway?
All right, we'll go across to Sandeep, but just to tell our viewers who are just tuning in, these are the visuals coming in right now at this hour. From Karnataka's Belagavi, where you can see a massive protest there, a show of strength of sorts by the seers, by the Lingayat leaders. Remember, the Lingayats form a key vote bank in Karnataka, and this is extremely crucial given the fact that Karnataka is all set to go for polls early next year. And the Lingayat leaders there who are completely up in arms, they are demanding reservation in government jobs from the Karnataka government. So a lot that the challenges, of course, that lie ahead for the Karnataka government. We'll try and get a few political reactions as well from the Karnataka BJP as to how exactly they are going about in tackling the concerns of the Lingayat seers. But the Lingayat community there having made it very, very clear that they demand reservation in government jobs. In fact, reactions coming in. Sandeep having exclusively spoken to one of those prominent leaders from the Lingayat community. Let's listen in.
Panchamsali Lingayat community is demanding 2A category of reservation in Karnataka, and in fact a massive protest is called today by the Lingayat community, and in fact I'm joined by the senior press out here, Jai Mrityunjay. Sir, आप लोगों की डिमांड क्या है, किस प्रकार से आज आप लोग कूच करेंगे, विधान सौदा को घेरने का प्रयास है, क्या करेंगे?
ये हमारे लिंगायत पंचमसाली कम्युनिटी कर्नाटक पे 1,30 लाख से है, बड़ा कम्युनिटी लिंगायत कम्युनिटी में बड़ा कम्युनिटी है, हमारे ओरिजिनल लिंगायत है। इसलिए हमारे समाज का बच्चों और विद्यार्थी को कर्नाटका सरकार में ये ओबीसी अदर बैकवर्ड क्लास में हमको 2A कोटा करने के लिए बहुत लड़ाई शुरू की थी 2 साल से। हम मत छोड़कर हर दिन और गांव और तालुक केंद्र में बड़ा लड़ाई शुरू की थी। आज का बीजेपी सरकार को 80% वोट बैक हमारा पंचमसाली कम्युनिटी है। आज का सरकार में हमारे 22 MLA है, 2 MP है, 4 MLC है। इसलिए हमारे डिमांड से हम शेतकरी लोग हैं, बड़े लोग हैं, इसलिए हमारे समाज को हुए गए। बट येडियुरप्पा सरकार नहीं किए थे, इसलिए वो गिर गया। ये आज का बसराज बोम्मई सरकार है, बार बार हमको भरोसे किए थे, प्रमाण किए थे, कोई नहीं हमारा डिमांड फुलफिल की। इसलिए हम डिसाइड किया था अगर हम पाद यात्रा के सुवर्ण विधानसभा का नियर में हमारा कन्वेंशन है, उस अगर वो हम जाते हैं, अगर हम जाके तक आपको कैबिनेट मीटिंग है 1 बजे फुलफिल किया, हमको सम्मान करेंगे, तैयारी किए थे सम्मान मुख्यमंत्री, वो नहीं फुलफिल किया, हम विधानसभा को गिर।
आने वाले दिनों में कर्नाटका में चुनाव भी है, अगर आप लोगों की डिमांड फुलफिल नहीं होती, इफ योर डिमांड इज नॉट फुलफिल्ड, so will this impact in upcoming Karnataka election? Will BJP have to face fire in upcoming election?
We are already ready to 2033, today we give this message. When the election is coming 2023, that time when the Karnataka government did not did our 2 reservation, we decided हमारा समाज का लोग को ही नहीं बीजेपी को वोट नहीं करने के प्रमाण किया था, इसलिए वो हमको कोटा देने थे 100%। हम अगर फिर हम बीजेपी को सपोर्ट करने के डिमांड किया था।
एक सवाल, अंतिम सवाल ये है कि बीजेपी के काफ़ी सारे नेता भी आप लोगों को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, तो आज मीटिंग भी हुई, कांग्रेस पार्टी के लीडर्स से मीटिंग हुई, बीजेपी के लीडर्स से मीटिंग हुई, क्या कुछ बातें तय हुई? आपको उम्मीदें हैं कि आज इस विषय को लेकर के निर्णय आएगा?
100% हम भरोसे किया था। ये ऑलरेडी बैकवर्ड कमेटी कमीशन रिपोर्ट जस्ट सरकार को वो ऑलरेडी रिसीव किया था, इसलिए हमारा कम्युनिटी लोग सारे पक्ष में है, वो भी डिसाइड किया था अगर वो हमको देने थे हमने सम्मान करेंगे, अगर वो हमको देने नहीं किया था हम विधानसभा लड़ाई शुरू किए थे।
So there you heard one of those prominent leaders from the Lingayat community. The visuals there on your screens of massive show of strength by the Lingayat community leaders. They have one demand, and which is reservation in government jobs. Remember, this has been one of those key demands by the Lingayat community since the BJP came to power in the state of Karnataka. Of course, it remains to be seen whether this demand will be paid heed to by the ruling dispensation in Karnataka or not. Sandeep, of course, reporting there live from the location where it's a dharna and a protest being staged by the Lingayat community leaders. Sandeep, if you could give us more information, what is the Lingayat community saying if this demand is not accepted by the ruling dispensation? How are they likely to go about it, and how is this going to impact the Karnataka Assembly elections next year?
See, Samiksha, message is crisp and clear. They have warned and in fact threatened that if at all the Bommai government, which had in fact assured them of giving them to a category reservation, if it is not accepted, then the Lingayat community, which has a huge hold in Karnataka, will have to in fact face fire in upcoming election. And there are just few months left, Samiksha, few months left for the election. And in fact, remember, if you go back with the reaction given by Arvind Ballar, the BJP leader, he himself belongs from that same community, but he blames Congress party and DK Shivkumar over the kind of politicizing being done on this issue. Remember, recently Congress party also had raised this issue, and in fact Congress party leaders are also supporting this fact. Apart from that, another BJP leader mentions that we are very firm on the stand. If Bommai government does not take a call, then something needs to be done on this. But today, Samiksha, a cabinet meeting will be held over this issue. A cabinet meeting will be held today, and the BJP leaders and the Lingayat community leaders are also very much sure that hopefully some decision will be taken by today by the Karnataka Chief Minister, Samiksha.
Yes, Sandeep, do we know till what time will this protest continue by the Lingayat community until a word comes in from the Karnataka government? Are they likely to continue the protest for a few days?
See, as far as this protest is concerned, this is a 21-kilometer long distance from the Basveshwar circle to Vidhan Sauda, Suvarna Vidhan Sabha, located in Belagavi. So this is a Padyatra which is going on, and they will later on gherao the assembly. And as I mentioned, that this is a 21-kilometer long distance that the protester needs to cover up. But definitely it will take more than 4 hours to reach at Suvarna Vidhan Sauda, located in Belagavi. We've been told that at around 5 p.m. in the evening, this protest will enter Vidhan Sabha. And in fact, and massive police deployment will show you. Heavy police deployment have been carried out here, and they have been given security, and Bommai government had have deployed multiple level of security. More than 10 to 15,000 police personnel are deployed on the road to make sure that nothing goes wrong. And when you see the crowd, as my video journalist Bhagat is showing you, the massive crowd, and in fact we were the channel to show the exclusive top angle shots of this massive crowd. This is now leading towards Belagavi Vidhan Sabha, and we've been told that at around 5 p.m. in the evening these people will enter the Vidhan Sabha. Possibly if CM Bombay takes a strong decision over it and allots reservation, this crowd which is protesting now may celebrate in the evening.
All right, we'll connect with Sandeep again, but that's a big challenge that lies ahead for the Karnataka government. Remember, all has not been quite well within the Karnataka BJP as well, and amidst the infighting that of sorts that we are seeing within the Karnataka BJP, there's a fresh trouble for the Karnataka government as the Lingayat community is out there protesting in the open, demanding reservation in government jobs, making it very clear that if their demand is not paid heed to by the ruling dispensation, it would have repercussions. And of course, this comes just ahead of the Karnataka Assembly polls, which will happen early next year. So Sandeep, they're getting us that live coverage of the massive show of strength by the Lingayat leaders. They are saying that they want reservation in government job. Remember, this has been one of the key demands since the Karnataka BJP. The BJP came to power in the state of Karnataka. We'll try and go across to Sandeep again. But these are the visuals, of course, live coming in from Karnataka's Belagavi, where it's a massive show of strength by the Lingayat leaders. Also note that Lingayat, of course, they form a key vote bank base in Karnataka. And given the fact that that the state is heading for polls early next year, it would be important for the ruling dispensation to win, to allay the concerns of the Lingayat leaders. In fact, later in the day, it's also being said that a massive protest will be held by the Lingayat leaders near the Vidhan. In fact, they would be ghirawing the Vidhan Sabha of Belagavi. This is expected later in the day, but this is, as Sandeep was telling us, a 21-kilometer Padyatra, which is being carried out by the Lingayat leaders. Slipping into a very short break for now, but on the other side, we'll get you live, we'll get you updates on the COVID alarm that's been sounded by the centre in the country. Also coming up on the other side, it's a massive face-off after TMC mocks Meghalaya's culture.
Powered by Truecaller, बुरी नियत वालों का कॉल लाल.
Tonight, a murder will be committed. If anyone can name the killer, that person wins our game.
This is truly delightful.
Holy!
There has been a murder. For one person, this is not a game. The killer wouldn't hesitate to kill again.
You must be really great at clues.
I'm very bad at dumb things.
Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
भारत की अर्थव्यवस्था में $1 ट्रिलियन का योगदान और देश की अर्थव्यवस्था में ग्रोथ इंजन के रूप में अपनी भूमिका का निर्वहन करने के हेतु प्रदेश सरकार यूपी ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर्स समिट 2023 का आयोजन कर रही है। आर्थिक विकास में तेज रफ्तार से आगे बढ़ रहे उत्तर प्रदेश में इस समिट के माध्यम से योगी सरकार ने 10 लाख करोड़ रुपए के निवेश का लक्ष्य रखा है।
Everyone looks at the world today. At Hyundai, we go beyond with experiences that take us forward. Inspired by our today, we design your tomorrow. Some said electric is the future. We said, why stop there? At Hyundai, we are going beyond mobility, and you are welcome to join us.
বাহ, বাইরে সিকিউরিটি আর নিজের বাড়িতে এইসব।
दादा बचा लिया आपने।
बेफिक्र कोलकाता जाओ, इंटरव्यू अच्छा ही होगा।
हर बंद राह ओपन हो सकती है, लगता है सिर्फ दिल। एक्सिस बैंक, दिल से ओपन।
2022 में सुबु ने कंसिस्टेंटली अंडर परफॉर्म किया और 3 बार डिमोट होकर भी दिखाया, पर सुबु तो उड़ रहा है क्योंकि जियो मार्ट के ग्रैंड फिनाले सेल में शॉपिंग पर मिलेगा अप टू 80% ऑफ। तो साल जैसा भी गया हो, एंडिंग तो जबरदस्त होगी।
Good morning and thank you very much for staying with us on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. You're watching Live and Breaking, and we're cutting straight across to Belagavi, where there is a huge protest that is on. This is the Pancham Sali community that is now protesting. It of course has moved its protest to Belagavi just recently. There are a large number of these Pancham Sali Lingayats who are essentially asking for quota of 2A subcategory, also asking for the OBC reservation for themselves. Pictures on your screen are of how massive this protest essentially does seem to be. We are given to understand that there is of course heavy police deployment along the route of the protest, and these Pancham Sali Lingayats of course are going to the Vidan Sauda in Belagavi. Let's go across to Sandeep, who's reporting on this. Sandeep, it does appear to be quite a huge protest. Now this was a call that was earlier given for seeking inclusion in the 2A reservation category. Give us more details, please.
Nupur, as you rightly mentioned that this protest is a massive protest and which is being carried out by Pancham Sali Lingayat community. Now, this community belongs to a farmers category and also same category. This is community, Pancham Sali community, who have a huge hold in Karnataka as well, and in fact their role is also very much important when we talk about voting rights, when we talk about the elections. They are the biggest, they have huge hold, they have a huge margin as well when it comes to election report. Now they have been demanding since long time that reservation in 2A category should be given, that is into education as well as in government jobs. Now, this was a demand that was in fact raised 2 years back by this community, and assurances were given by the Bombay government and the BJP government in Karnataka. But so far there was no conclusion. Now, on the same sequence, massive protest has been called out here. You can see my video journalist Bhagat is in fact giving you the live visuals. These are the Lingayat community people who are on the road. They will be they are doing in fact a Padayatra right now. A 21 kilometers long distance will be the Padayatra going on, and in fact later on in the evening by 5 p.m. they will gherao the Suvarna Vidan Sauda. Although the BJP leaders who belong to the community has also raised their anger over this issue, and they also mentioned that if at all, Bombay government fails to take a decision on it, then definitely this will impact the upcoming election. Although Arvind Bellad, one of the Lingayat BJP leaders, he also mentioned that if the government has assured them soon, in fact by today itself, a decision will be taken in the cabinet meeting by Chief Minister of Karnataka, Basavaraj Bommai, on allotting the reservation to this community. But this crowd which is going towards the Suvarna Vidhan Sabha, if the reservation is been allotted, then it will turn into celebration. If not, then there are chances that any untoward situation may take place in the premises of Vidhan Sabha. And for the same reason, heavy police deployment has been also given out here by Karnataka police, and a huge police deployment has been done, and it is massive protest. More than 2 lakh people have in fact joined this protest, and most likely in the cabinet meeting today. Remember, the assembly session is also underway in Belagavi, and in the cabinet meeting today, the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Basavaraj Bommai, may take a decision on allotting a reservation to the Lingayat community.
Oh, yes, absolutely. As you're pointing out, of course, we are given to understand that the cabinet is already in a huddle, perhaps looking at this demand. But give us more details in terms of what you're hearing from the government. Is this something that they are considering? Because this, of the Lingayat community, of course, the Panchamsali Lingayats actually constitute about 82%, so that's a large chunk, and Lingayats themselves constitute about 17% of the voting population in Karnataka. Do you think that these figures are likely to affect that decision? Sandeep, are you there with us? All right, we are going to go across to Sandeep in just a bit. But as I was earlier saying, obviously, this is something that Basavaraj Bommai will have to decide upon very quickly. In terms of the elections that are held next year, do remember that the Lingayat community actually constitutes about 17% of the population in Karnataka. Now, of that 17% of Lingayat community, actually the Panchamsali Lingayats constitute about 82%. So it's a large chunk of Lingayats who form the Panchamsali sect of the Lingayats. I think we've got Sandeep back with us. All right, Sandeep, I was earlier asking you, just given the numbers in terms of the statistics of how the Panchamsali Lingayats actually dominate the Lingayat community, do you think that is something that will be weighing on the mind of Basavaraj Bommai when he takes that decision today, if at all he takes it today? I'm afraid that's a very poor connection that we have with Sandeep, but just look at the number of crowds on your screens. There are estimates that seem to suggest that about 1.5 to 2 lakh people have converged onto Belagavi. This was a protest call that was given earlier. This protest was supposed to happen elsewhere, but it was shifted to Belagavi, given the fact that the Karnataka Assembly is in session over there. Do remember that we are also hearing that the cabinet is meeting already in Belagavi. Now, this huge protest also comes right in the middle of tensions already prevailing in the border areas of Belagavi on the Maharashtra-Karnataka border after the number of Maharashtra Ekikaran Samiti members and the NCP staged a protest on Monday demanding that they be allowed into Belagavi. So Belagavi, of course, becoming a flashpoint of sorts right now. The Lingayats over there, these are the Panchamsali Lingayats, of course, a subsection of the Lingayat community in Karnataka who are seeking an inclusion in the 2A reservation category. They also want the centre to grant OBC status to their community, have gathered in large numbers from all across Karnataka to Belagavi. I think we've managed to get Sandeep back. Now, Sandeep, I was asking you that given the sheer statistics in this particular case and the fact that, the Panchamsali Lingayats actually constitute about 82% of the Lingayat community, do you think that's something that's going to weigh on Basavaraj Bommai's mind when he takes that decision in the cabinet today?
Definitely, there are several things that need to be, discussed and thought about. Remember, there is already a cap of reservation of SC, ST, OBC, and between this, if he has to pick a reservation to take Panchamsali Lingayat community, he needs to find out a way. And in fact, the backward commission was also formed out, and in fact, he in the past also had assured that he will come out with the reservation on 19th of December, but he has failed, and in fact, he didn't came up with a strong decision. Now, for the same reason, in fact, pulled out by the Lingayat community, and in fact, the senior, the prominent chief of the Lingayat community took out this massive protest, and it is a 21-kilometer long protest out here in Belagavi, and now they are moving towards the Vidhan Saudha, the Suvarna Vidhan Saudha out here located in Belagavi, where in assembly session is also underway. So at this point of time, it will be very much crucial to see what kind of solution, the Chief Minister of Karnataka will come out, and what kind of, how much gap does he give to the people of Pancham Sali Lingayat community, in fact. So, a very tough day as well for Chief Minister of Karnataka, Basavaraj Bommai, because he has been in controversy for his statements on Karnataka border, and now after this border road, this is another issue which is very hard on the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Basavaraj Bommai. So it is indeed very much crucial to see what kind of decision is taken by the Karnataka.
All right, absolutely. Sandeep, of course, is bringing us the latest on this. Now, Sandeep, in terms of just this Padayatra, we understand it's about 22 kilometers along the route that is being followed, and it culminates at the Vidhan Saudha. So what are the kind of security arrangements that have been made at the Vidhan Saudha as these huge crowds converge onto there?
If you, go through with the visits that we have been sending since, a long day of coverage, you can see massive deployment of Karnataka police is being done on the roads of Belagavi. This is a national highway route which started from Basveshwar Circle to towards the Suvarna Vidhan Saudha. So they are expected to reach at around 5 p.m. So heavy police has been deployed out there, and more than 15 to 20,000 police officials, reserve forces have been deployed, and the right cell has also been, in fact, deployed out here to make sure that no violence takes place in the city, and law and order remains in place. So it will be so definitely heavy deployment of police officers is done, but it will be very much crucial to see whether CM Bommai decides on the reservation of Lingayat community, whether this the protesters who are in fact going towards the Vidhan Sabha will celebrate or more aggressively on this issue.
Okay, we seem to have run into some audio trouble with Sandeep over there. We'll just go back to him in a bit. But pictures on your screen are coming to you from Belagavi, where a large number of the Pancham Sali Lingayat community has gathered to protest against the Basavaraj Bommai government. They are demanding 2A category reservation. These are, of course, the Pancham Salis are a subsect of the Lingayat community in Karnataka. They also want the centre to grant OBC status to their community. Now, this is a call that has been given for a 22-kilometer long Padayatra, which then culminates in the Vidhan Saudha in Belagavi. You're watching Republic TV. We'll continue to bring you the latest from this. And also coming up after this very short break is that India is back on the COVID war. The Prime Minister will be chairing a key meeting on COVID-19.
ये है गेहूं। जब इसमें जुड़ता है रागी, जवार, बाजरा और मेथी तो बनता है हेल्दी मन्ना मल्टी मिलेट आटा। ये है बेहतर आटा।
क्या हुआ रोहन, क्या सोच रहा है?
रिया, पहली सैलरी मिली है, तुम भी कुछ आइडिया दो। एक्सपेंसेस को कैसे प्लान किया जाए?
रोहन, एक्सपेंसेस के साथ साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान करना भी जरूरी है।
देखो, सैलरी का कुछ हिस्सा घर के रेगुलर खर्चे के लिए और कुछ मैं अपने लिए भी तो सोच सकता हूँ ना, लेकिन इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करूँ?
सिंपल है, एनपीएस में।
एनपीएस में? रिया, अभी तो मैंने कमाना शुरू किया है, इतना आगे के लिए अभी से क्यों पैसे जोड़ूं?
वो देखो, एक एक करके ईंट जोड़ी जाती है, तब जाके एक घर तैयार होता है। वैसे ही अभी से पैसे जोड़कर हम भी अपना रिटायरमेंट सुखी बना सकते हैं।
बात में तो दम है।
एनपीएस कम लागत वाली फ्लेक्सिबल लॉन्ग टर्म योजना है, जिससे आपकी बचत ग्रो होकर पेंशन का लाभ देती है।
अच्छा, फिर तो मैं अभी अपना एनपीएस अकाउंट ओपन करता हूँ।
जो कल की सोचते हैं वो आज से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा जोड़ते हैं।
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं। एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है।
With Beto's Diabetes Care Program, you get online doctor consultations, all your prescribed medicines and dietitian support on call. Get your complete diabetes management kit and expert advice with Beto's Diabetes Care Program. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
सुन, इक्विटी में इन्वेस्ट कर, ग्रोथ का है चांस।
सुन, डेट में है लो रिस्क, बात मेरी मान।
अरे बेटा सुन, गोल्ड सिर्फ गोल्ड, भैया ने भी यही किया।
सुन, अब तू कंफ्यूज मत कर यार। अरे मतलब सुन, सबकी कर मल्टी मतलब मल्टी एसेट एलोकेशन फंड्स, यानी 3-in-1 फंड। ये इक्विटी, डेट, गोल्ड तीनों में एक साथ इन्वेस्ट करें। म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेज ध्यान पूर्वक पढ़ें।
You are watching Republic TV and we are going to take you straight across to Belagavi where protests are taking place. This is the Panchamsali Lingayat community which is staging a massive protest. Approximate figures in terms of the number of people at this protest hover around 1.5 to 2 lakh people. They're all marching to the Vidhan Sauda. Now they are of course demanding a hike in the reservation status. Do remember that the Panchamsali Lingayats actually constitute about 82% of the Lingayat community. The Panchamsali community has been seeking inclusion under 2A category of the OBC quota to be eligible for about 15% reservation for government jobs and education. The current quota is at 5%. Now, they have, of course, threatened a wider demonstration unless the state government decides the matter soon. Do remember that
ये चाहते हैं कि बॉर्डर पे जो घटनाएं चली है उसकी चर्चा चाहते हैं। और दूसरा इश्यू है जो बिहार का अपमान हुआ उसके बारे में जो लीडर ने कहा उसके बारे में हम कहा। और तीसरी चीज कि सदन में जब चर्चा के लिए हम पूछ रहे हैं बार बार और आप बार बार हमको रूल बता रहे हैं। ठीक है साहब, रूल तो है।
मेरे को एक चीज बताइए, एक सेकंड खड़गे जी, एक सेकंड।
हाँ।
मैं एक सेकंड, मैं यदि अगर आपको रूल नहीं बताऊंगा तो किनको बताऊंगा?
हाँ,
और नहीं सर, आपको नहीं कहूंगा कि आप रूल की अवहेलना कर रहे हो, रूल की पालना नहीं कर रहे हो, मेरे बार बार अनुरोध करने के बाद नहीं कर रहे हो। रोज वही बातें कमी आ रही हैं जिनके बारे में मैं रोज संकेत देता हूं। रूल 267 जो कहता है उसका कुछ भी मानेंगे नहीं और मेरे हाथ बांधते हो तो
नहीं सर। वो देखिए, आप हमेशा जो हमको कहे हैं वो तो सभी मेंबर सुने हैं और रोज सुन रहे हैं। लेकिन सर, हाउस में ऐसा होता है, एक तरफ रूल्स रहते हैं, दूसरे तरफ प्रैक्टिसेस, यूसेजेस, कस्टम्स, प्रेसिडेंट्स, और पीछे ऐसी घटनाएं जब होती है तो किस ढंग से हाउस चलाया जाता है, वो भी सदन का ये काम है, आपका काम है। सिर्फ रूल बुक ही नहीं है, चंद प्रेसिडेंट्स लिखे नहीं जाते, तो आप कन्वेंशन आर देयर, तो वो कन्वेंशन के तहत हम उठा रहे हैं। लेकिन आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है साहब, गुस्सा तो हमारा उनके ऊपर है, आपके ऊपर नहीं है।
नहीं, खड़गे जी, खड़गे जी, मुझे गुस्सा नहीं आता है। आपको एक बात बता दूं, मुझे बिल्कुल गुस्सा नहीं आता है। मैं थोड़ा हताश हूं, मैं थोड़ा परेशान हूं, थोड़ी मेरे में सुनिए एक सेकंड, मैं परेशान हूं, हताश हूं, हैरान हूं। देश भर से लोग मेरे को कहते हैं कि आपने 267 की व्याख्या की, कभी कोई नोटिस 267 के अनुरूप आएगा, आप मानकर चलिए उस पर पूरा ध्यान केंद्रित होगा।
देश के रक्षा के लिए जब हम चर्चा चाहते हैं तो इससे बड़ा कोई और रूल नहीं होता। सभी रूल आप निकाल दे सकते हैं, और इसीलिए हम बार बार आपको दिक्कत हो रही होंगी। हम हरासमेंट तो नहीं कहेंगे, लेकिन बार बार अपनी बात रखने से आप जरा परेशान हो रहे हैं।
परेशान हो रहा हूँ, मैं हैरान हो रहा हूँ।
नहीं, हैरान हो रहा हूँ। तो आपने हमको कहा कि मुझे और लीडर ऑफ द हाउस को अंदर बुलाएंगे, बात करेंगे। सर, ये अंदर बात करने का नहीं है, ये पूरे दुनिया को मालूम होना, देश को मालूम होना, और सारे लोगों को मालूम हुआ जिन्होंने हमको चुन के लाया, उनको सबको मालूम हुआ। ये कमरे में बात करने की नहीं है, ये कोई सिक्योरिटी नहीं है, ये देश के लिए है। चर्चा जरूरी है, चर्चा करना चाहिए, उसी के लिए हम ठहरे हैं, और देश में एकता के लिए हम लड़ेंगे, देश के हिफाजत के लिए लड़ेंगे। हम नौजवानों के साथ हैं, हमारे जवानों के साथ है, हमारे मिलिट्री के साथ है, भारत के लोगों के साथ है। आप हमको अलग मत कीजिए, वो पैट्रियट समझ के उनके तरफ मत देखिए, उससे भी ज्यादा पैट्रियट इधर।
धन्यवाद।
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, माननीय नेता प्रतिपक्ष बार बार जो विषय उठा रहे हैं, इसके बारे में पहले भी उपसभापति ने काफी विस्तार से बताया कि कई सारे ऐसे इंस्टेंसेस हुए जब वो सरकार में थे, जब ऐसे गंभीर विषयों के ऊपर चर्चा भी नहीं हुई है और क्लैरिफिकेशन भी नहीं किया गया। ऐसे 4 इंस्टेंसेस माननीय उपसभापति ने पटल पर भी रखे हैं। साथ ही साथ माननीय खड़गे जी बार बार उस विषय के बारे में उजागर कर रहे हैं। हमारे विदेश मंत्री ने एक बड़े विस्तार से इन विषयों के बारे में स्टेटमेंट दिया है। हमारे रक्षा मंत्री ने बड़े विस्तार से इस विषय के बारे में स्टेटमेंट दिया है। हमने सरकार की तरफ से पूरी चीजें, पूरी जानकारी हाउस पे रखी है। विदेश मंत्री ने तो जो सवाल प्रमोद तिवारी जी ने उठाए थे उसका भी जवाब दिया था। मैं समझता हूं कि कुछ विषय ऐसे होते हैं जो जितना ज्यादा यहाँ उजागर होंगे तो फिर याद आएगा कि 1962 में एक उन्हीं की पार्टी के प्रधानमंत्री ने इसी सदन में कहा था कि ये क्या, उसमें क्या दिक्कत है अगर जम्मू कश्मीर का एक बड़ा इलाका हमारे देश से अलग हो गया, वहां तो एक पीस ऑफ घास भी नहीं उगती है। और इन्हीं के कांग्रेस के माननीय सदस्य ने कहा कि उनके सिर पे एक भी बाल नहीं उगता, तो क्या उसको भी काट के चीन को दे देंगे। ये उन्हीं के समय उन्हीं के प्रधानमंत्री के कहे हुए वक्तव्य का उनके मेंबर ने कहा कि मेरा सर काट के क्या चाइना को दे देंगे। इन्हीं के विदेश मंत्री का वक्तव्य है 38,000 किलोमीटर भारत की भूमि 38,000 किलोमीटर। उन्होंने अहमद ने बताया कि 38,000 किलोमीटर भूमि आज अवैध कब्जे में है चाइना के, और ये इन्हीं के समय, इन्हीं के कारनामे और इन्हीं के गलतियों के कारण राजीव गांधी फाउंडेशन को 1,35,00,000 रुपए चाइनीज दूतावास से मिला। उसका आज तक खुलासा नहीं कर रहे, उसके बारे में कुछ जानकारी नहीं दे रहे। मैं समझता हूँ कांग्रेस जिम्मेदार है, जो देश की समस्याएं हमने विरासत में ली और अब समय आ जाए।
सर, माननीय लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन, माननीय लीडर ऑफ द ऑपोजिशन सेज, तो आप जब बुला रहे हैं कमरे में बात करेंगे लीडर ऑफ द हाउस के साथ, उसको बोल रहे हैं नहीं नहीं ये सब इधर बात करना है। मैं याद दिलाऊं, प्रणब मुखर्जी जी जब मेंबर थे इस हाउस में, मंत्री थे, हमारे किरण रिजिजू जो अभी मिनिस्टर है, अरुणाचली है, वो इसी विषय के ऊपर, चाइना के एग्रेशन के ऊपर बात करने के लिए नोटिस दिया। प्रणब मुखर्जी जी किरण रिजिजू को बोला कि कमरे में आकर बात करो, आप तो चेयरमैन है, आप बुला रहे हैं, मगर मंत्री इस विषय को इधर बात नहीं करना, कमरे में करना, करने वाले प्रणब मुखर्जी जी है।
Sharad Pawar will say something on COVID. No. Shri Dr. Sikandar Kumar.
You're watching Republic TV, and still to come, the TMC leader mocks traditional Meghalaya attire. Assam's chief minister gives it back.
Your favorite service provider, 10, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो।
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call DEN toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
Yeah, Ajay, look at your dad. Will we be the same at his age?
Absolutely yes, if we plan our future like him.
How?
My father had invested in LIC's Jeevan Akshay, which gives immediate and guaranteed annuity at regular intervals, that too for life.
Wow. But do we have to wait until his age?
Absolutely not. We recently invested in LIC's new Jeevan Shanti, which gives deferred annuity, which means regular income after some years.
I see.
LIC.
LIC's annuity plans give 10 annuity options and flexibility in receiving regular income. LIC, हर पल आपके साथ.
जैन 2022 से अब तक रोहन 6 बार डंप हुआ है, हर गर्लफ्रेंड को एक्स के नाम से जो बुलाया। बट रोहन वो तो लहरा रहा है, क्योंकि जियो मार्ट के ग्रैंड फिनाले सेल में शॉपिंग पर मिलेगा अप टू 80% ऑफ। तो साल जैसा भी गया हो, एंडिंग तो जबरदस्त होगी।
Guys, just 1 second. Choosing a car for my mom.
What? Online car shopping? Wow, that's so cool, yeah.
शाहरुख ने बताया।
Wait up. Booking a car service.
From here.
क्यों? तुझे शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया?
इसने पूछा ही नहीं। There's so much more जो शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया. It's all on the industry first My Hyundai app. Open a world of possibility with My Hyundai app. One app, many worlds.
In view of the global COVID upsurge, Prime Minister Modi is likely to review the situation related to COVID-19 and hold a high-level meeting this afternoon. As states are ramping up preparations for COVID situation, Chandigarh has now made the RT-PCR test mandatory for patients with flu-like symptoms.
Powered by Truecaller, बुरी नियत वालों का कॉल लाल।
सोच रहा हूँ कमेंट्री ट्राई करूँ। मैच का आखिरी बॉल, तेज तूफानी डिलीवरी, एक धमाकेदार शॉट और ये गया छक्का।
छक्का नहीं, टूटा। आपके टाइल्स को चाहिए MY के लेटिक्रीट टाइल एडेसिव। फॉर्मूला ऐसा कि अब टाइल न टूटेगा न छूटेगा।
आज की पेशकश
अच्छी है, पर ये चाय रोज मिलेगी?
रिटायर होने वाला हूँ, रोज नहीं, लाइफ लॉन्ग मिलेगी, ये मेरी गारंटी है।
कुछ चीजों का साथ हमेशा होना चाहिए, जैसे HDFC लाइफ एन्युटी प्लान्स, जो दे लाइफ लॉन्ग मंथली गारंटीड इनकम। HDFC लाइफ, सर उठा के जियो।
ये है गेहूं। जब इसमें जुड़ता है रागी, जवार, बाजरा और मेथी, तो बनता है हेल्दी मन्ना मल्टी मिलेट आटा। ये है बेहतर आटा।
Whenever I had ice cream or cold water, I would experience a sharp shooting sensation. So I just kept ignoring it. Even my hot chai was giving me the same amount of discomfort. My dentist recommended Sensodyne. So now I can be completely carefree and sip my hot cup of tea. It really works.
India welcomes those who further India's pride across the globe. Indian diaspora, partners of New India's growth journey in Amrit Kaal. Come and be a part of the 17th Pravasi Bharati Divas from 8th to 10th January 2023 at Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. For registration, log on to pbdindia.gov.in.
Volkswagen Tiguan, India's safest SUVW.
Volkswagen.
जैन 2022 से अब तक रोहन 6 बार डंप हुआ है। हर गर्लफ्रेंड को एक्स के नाम से जो बुलाया, बट रोहन वो तो लहरा रहा है, क्योंकि जियो मार्ट के ग्रैंड फिनाले सेल में शॉपिंग पर मिलेगा अप टू 80% ऑफ। तो साल जैसा भी गया हो, एंडिंग तो जबरदस्त होगी।
With Beto's Diabetes Care Program, you get online doctor consultations, all your prescribed medicines and dietitian support on call. Get your complete diabetes management kit and expert advice with Beto's Diabetes Care Program. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
Well, news just coming in, we are now learning that there appears to have been a setback for Robert Vadra in a case that has been filed against him. The High Court has dismissed the petition of Mahesh Nagar and others for, of course, for now, there is still a stay on arrest for about 2 weeks. So this, of course, is about the Vadra Rajasthan land deal. It brings that back into focus. What we are given to understand is that this is being seen as a setback for Robert and Maureen Vadra. The court has dismissed the petition of Mahesh Nagar. The order is based on Skylight's petition, of course, and the court has also stayed his arrest for about 2 weeks. Now, the plea to quash the case, it appears, may stand cancelled or rejected for now. Amardeep has more details on this. Amardeep has more details. I beg your pardon. Let's go across to him. Amardeep, tell us more of what happened.
देखिए, सबसे बड़ी चीज़ अब जोधपुर से निकल के आई है। जोधपुर हाईकोर्ट ने रॉबर्ट वाड्रा और उनकी मां जो है मॉरिन वाड्रा, उनकी जो पिटीशन थी स्काईलाइट हॉस्पिटैलिटी की तरफ से जो लगाई गई थी कि ईडी की जो पूछताछ है, ईडी की जो कार्रवाई है, उस पर रोक लगाई जाए, उस पर हाईकोर्ट ने उस पिटीशन को खारिज कर दिया है और ईडी की कार्रवाई पर हाईकोर्ट ने रोक लगाने से इनकार कर दिया है। यानी कि अब इस केस में बेनामी संपत्ति का जो केस था स्काईलाइट हॉस्पिटल का, जो बीकानेर में कोलायत में बेनामी संपत्ति खरीदी गई थी, उसको लेकर के ईडी पूछताछ करना चाहती थी और उसी को लेकर के महेश नागर जो कि पार्टनर हैं स्काईलाइट हॉस्पिटल में और रॉबर्ट वाड्रा और मॉरिन वाड्रा के, उन्होंने ये जो पिटीशन थी वो लगाई थी जोधपुर हाई कोर्ट में और ये कहा था कि ईडी को इसमें इन्वॉल्व नहीं किया जाए, ईडी को रोक लगा दी जाए इस पूछताछ में। लेकिन हाई कोर्ट ने साफ किया है कि ईडी कंटिन्यू कार्रवाई करेगा, जो भी उनको पूछताछ करनी होगी वो पूछताछ करेगा। हाई कोर्ट ने यह भी कहा है कि 2 हफ्ते तक जो गिरफ्तारी पर रोक है वो बदस्तूर जारी रहेगी, उस पर आप अपील कर सकते हैं। लेकिन सबसे बड़ी जो चीज़ है वो ये निकल के आई है कि ईडी की कार्रवाई अब स्वतंत्र रहेगी, यानी कि ईडी अब पूछताछ भी कर सकता है रॉबर्ट वाड्रा से, स्काईलाइट हॉस्पिटैलिटी की कंपनी से जुड़ी हुई लोगों से बातचीत कर सकता है, बेनामी संपत्ति के बारे में बातचीत कर सकता है और ईडी कार्रवाई भी करने के लिए अब स्वतंत्र रहेगा। तो ये सबसे बड़ी खबर है जोधपुर से, जहां रॉबर्ट वाड्रा और उनकी मां मॉरिन वाड्रा और स्काईलाइट हॉस्पिटैलिटी से जुड़े हुए लोगों की मुसीबतें बढ़ सकती हैं। सबसे बड़ी चीज़ यही है कि इसको लेकर के कहीं लगातार सुर्खियां बन रही थी, लगातार जो ये खबर थी वो कहीं ना कहीं इसी चीज़ पर टिकी हुई थी कि हाई कोर्ट जो है वो किस तरीके का डिसीजन देगा इस पिटीशन पे। लेकिन जो ये पिटीशन है, इस पिटीशन में महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ यही है कि स्काईलाइट हॉस्पिटैलिटी और बीकानेर के कोलायत में बेनामी संपत्ति की जो पूछताछ ईडी करना चाहता था, अब वो रोक जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं हट गई है, उस पिटीशन को खारिज कर दिया है। अब स्वतंत्र ईडी जो है खुले रूप से पूछताछ भी कर सकता है, जहां उनको लगेगा कि कार्रवाई करनी है वो कार्रवाई भी कर सकते हैं। अभी फिलहाल ये कह सकते हैं कि रॉबर्ट वाड्रा और उनकी कंपनी स्काईलाइट हॉस्पिटैलिटी, जो कि उनके मां मॉरिन वाड्रा के नाम पे है, और उनके पार्टनर्स और उन तमाम लोगों के साथ में पूछताछ अब ईडी कर सकता है और कार्रवाई भी कर सकता है।
All right, so Amardeep, we are also given to understand that even as the ED is now allowed to go forward with its inquiry in this particular case, the interim protection that has been granted from arrest for Robert Vadra stays and it stays for about 2 weeks. Can you confirm that?
देखिए, बिल्कुल कोर्ट ने यह भी कहा है कि अगले 2 हफ्ते तक जो गिरफ्तारी की रोक है वो कंटिन्यू रहेगी, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से चीज़ें अभी बाहर आएंगी, अभी चूंकि कोर्ट में चीज़ें ऑर्डर जो है वो आते हैं बाहर तो थोड़ा सा वक्त लगता है, लेकिन ये चीज़ बताई गई है कि जो 2 हफ्ते का वक्त है उसमें ईडी गिरफ्तारी पर बिल्कुल रोक जारी रहेगी। वो रॉबर्ट वाड्रा और स्काईलाइट हॉस्पिटैलिटी जो है वो अपर कोर्ट में इसकी अपील भी कर सकते हैं, इस चीज़ को भी कोर्ट ने कहा है। लेकिन सबसे बड़ी जो चीज़ है वो यही है अभी स्थिति कि अब ईडी जो है इस केस में पूछताछ कर सकता है, पूछताछ करने में अब कोई रोक नहीं रहेगी, क्योंकि इसी रोक के लिए पिटीशन जो है वो महेश नागर की तरफ से लगाई गई थी। महेश नागर इस कंपनी में जो है पार्टनर की भूमिका में है और इसी वजह से जो चीज़ें थी वो कहीं ना कहीं पिटीशन दायर की गई थी कि ईडी इस केस में इन्वॉल्व ना हो, ईडी का कोई रोल नहीं बनता है, इस तरीके की चीज़ें इस पिटीशन में लिखी गई थी। लेकिन हाईकोर्ट ने अब इस याचिका को जब खारिज किया है तो संभवतः पूरी चीज़ सामने निकल के आ गई है। इसमें ये साफ हो चुका है कि अब ईडी पूछताछ के लिए बिल्कुल ओपन रहेगी।
All right, Amardeep, of course, is bringing us those details on this. Amardeep, thank you for the moment for joining us. So as Amardeep is pointing out, of course, it appears that the ED can go forward and investigate in this particular case. Now, the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has hit back at the TMC leader Kirti Azad, who had tweeted on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's outfit during his Meghalaya visit. The tweet had attracted criticism from BJP leaders. Azad had also shared a photo of the Prime Minister alongside a screenshot of a female model wearing what he called was the multi-floral embroidered dress or an online shopping website. The Assam Chief Minister has asked the TMC to clarify its stand on Kirti Azad's tweet. Of course, in this particular case, we haven't really heard from the TMC so far. Do remember that this has been seen largely as an affront to the traditional attire of people from Meghalaya. Do remember that the Prime Minister during his visit to Meghalaya had worn the traditional attire that is donned by the people of Meghalaya. Of course, there has been a lot of criticism that has come in from the BJP over the tweet of Kirti Azad of the TMC. Let's listen into some of those comments.
That Trinamool Congress veteran leader Kirti Azad doesn't know about the culture of the tribal people. Without knowing the tribal culture, he should not utter a single word. And he is mocking our Prime Minister by saying Noriya Nari. This is really shameful on him, and this is not only an insult to our Honorable Prime Minister, and it is an insult to entire tribal people of Northeast India. So Kirti Azad must apologize immediately or face the consequences, because he doesn't have any right to comment such things about the tribal people, tribal dress. Honorable Prime Minister, you respect each and every individual, he respects every culture, particularly he loves the Northeast region, he loves the Northeast tribal people. That's why Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, whenever he visits to Northeast region, he used to wear the traditional dresses. Kirti Azad, he doesn't know anything about the culture of the Northeast region. I should say Kirti Azad must visit Northeast region, understand about the culture, the traditional attire, then he will understand what dresses Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji were wearing at that meeting in Shillong. It is very shameful act. I strongly condemn, and I take note that Kirti Azad must be punished for his misdeed.
In their hatred for one man and one party, Trinamool Congress has now crossed all the limits, with its leader Kirti Azad mocking the traditional attire worn by the Prime Minister when he was in the Northeast. This is not an attack on Prime Minister Modi, but it is in fact an attack on the culture, on the traditional attire of the tribal people of Meghalaya, of the Northeast. Why, while abusing Prime Minister Modi or the BJP, would you descend to abusing the entire Northeast and their culture? This is the mindset of the Trinamool Congress. Now the Trinamool Congress must clarify, and especially Mamata Banerjee must clarify, does she endorse this kind of vitriolic attack, that too made on a photoshopped image by her leader Kirti Azad? If not, will she take action on Kirti Azad, and will she also endorse that case be filed against Kirti Azad for mocking and insulting the sentiments of the tribal community of India?
जिस किसी प्रदेश में जाते हैं तो स्वाभाविक बात है कि वहाँ के लोग उनको अपनी जो एक प्रचलन की वो वेशभूषा है उसको पहनाते हैं। तो कीर्ति आज़ाद ये वही हैं जो पहले प्रधानमंत्री की किसी वक्त तारीफ़ किया करते थे। जब कभी जो इनकी एक इच्छा रहती है वो पूरी नहीं होती तो इस प्रकार की भाषा बोलनी शुरू कर देते हैं। मुझे लगता है कि बिना किसी कारण से इस प्रकार की बातें जो की जाती हैं जिसका कोई औचित्य नहीं है। और कीर्ति आज़ाद वही हैं जिन्होंने कभी प्रधानमंत्री जी के तारीफ में कई बार पुल बांधे होंगे, लेकिन आज टीएमसी में जाके उनकी भाषा बदलनी स्वाभाविक बात है।
If I make a comment or a condemnation on such kind of distasteful comments, it will unnecessarily give a space to such mindset. So it's better not to comment on this.
We are joined by BJP MP from West Bengal, Jagannath Sarkar. And as Kirti Azad has mocked and disrespected not only Pradhan Mantri Modi but also the tribal community, we are here to get more words from Jagannath sir. Jagannath sir, कीर्ति आजाद ने जो ट्वीट किया है प्रधानमंत्री की वेशभूषा को लेकर के, वो शिलोंग में थे, कई तरह के जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं उनकी फाउंडेशन स्टोर करने गए थे, लेकिन उनकी जो वेशभूषा है उसको लेकर के कीर्ति आजाद ने जो ट्वीट किया है, ना नर ना नारी, ये है फैशन के पुजारी, सर उस पर क्या कहेंगे?
देखिए, जो सत्ता के लालच में राजनीति कर रहा है वो अभी हताशे में पड़ गया, इसलिए वो पार में किसी प्रकार से नहीं आ पाए। वो कीर्ति आजाद कांग्रेस में गया था।
बहुत माननीय सदस्य 0 आवर में बोलना चाहते हैं, जैसा अभी माननीय मंत्री महोदय ने बताया, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बिजनेस अभी शेष है, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिजनेस इज रिमेन टू बी डिस्कस। प्लीज 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 गो बैक टू योर सीट। कृपया सहयोग कीजिए, कृपया सहयोग कीजिए, चर्चा होने दीजिए, सदस्यों को 0 आवर में अपनी बातें रखने दीजिए। कल सैनिटाइज होने वाला है, आज का एक दिन उपलब्ध है माननीय सदस्यों के लिए, और भी सदस्य जो बोलना चाहते हैं उनको भी अवसर दिया जा सकता है। प्लीज गो बैक टू योर सीट। सभा की कार्यवाही 2 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।
All right, so the ruckus in the Lok Sabha continuing over the face-off that we have seen in Tawang. Now the opposition, of course, is continuing to demand for a discussion in both houses of parliament. The government, for its part, has maintained that it has, the defence minister, in fact, has given out a statement in both the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, and hence there is no need for a discussion. But pictures on your screen are of the ruckus that has continued through the winter session of parliament over this issue. This, of course, relates to the face-off that we saw between troops from the Chinese PLA and the Indian Army soldiers in the heights above Tawang. There was a confrontation between the two on the line of actual control. And the opposition parties, about 12 in number, have been asking the government to allow for a discussion to take place on this on both houses of parliament. And going back to the story that we've been tracking earlier, the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has hit back at the TMC leader Kirti Azad, who had tweeted on the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's outfit during his Meghalaya visit. The tweet had attracted criticism from the BJP leaders. Now, Azad had shared a picture of the Prime Minister, alongside it a screenshot of a female model wearing the same multiflora embroidered dress on an online shopping website. The Assam Chief Minister has asked the TMC to clarify its stand on Kirti Azad's tweet. Now, the BJP, of course, is asking not just for an apology from Kirti Azad, but also asking the TMC for a response on whether they endorse this tweet of Kirti Azad.
That Trinamool Congress veteran leader Kirti Azad doesn't know about the culture of the tribal people. Without knowing the tribal culture, he should not utter a single word. And he is mocking our Prime Minister by saying Noriya Nari. This is really shameful on him, and this is not only an insult to our Honorable Prime Minister, and it is an insult to entire tribal people of Northeast India. So Kirti Azad must apologize immediately or face the consequences, because he doesn't have any right to comment such things about the tribal people, tribal dress. Honorable Prime Minister, you respect each and every individual, he respects every culture, particularly he loves the Northeast region, he loves the Northeast tribal people. That's why Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, whenever he visit to Northeast region, he used to wear the traditional dresses. Kirti Azad, he doesn't know anything about the culture of the Northeast region. I should say, Kirti Azad must visit Northeast region, understand about the culture, the traditional attire, then he will understand what dresses Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji were wearing at that meeting in Shillong. It is very shameful act. I strongly condemn, and I take note that Kirti Azad must be punished for his misdeed.
We are joined by BJP MP from West Bengal, Jagannath Sarkar. And as Kirti Azad has mocked and disrespected not only Pradhan Mantri Modi, but also the tribal community, we are here to get more words from Jagannath sir. Jagannath sir, Kirti Azad ने जो ट्वीट किया है प्रधानमंत्री की वेशभूषा को लेकर के, वो शिलोंग में थे, कई तरह के जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं उनकी फाउंडेशन स्टोर करने गए थे, लेकिन उनकी जो वेशभूषा है उसको लेकर के कीर्ति आज़ाद ने जो ट्वीट किया है, ना नर ना नारी, ये है फैशन के पुजारी, सर उस पर क्या कहेंगे?
देखिए, जो सत्ता के लालच में राजनीति कर रहा है वो अभी हताशा में पड़ गया, इसलिए वो पार में किसी प्रकार से नहीं आ पाए। वो कीर्ति आज़ाद कांग्रेस में गया था, उसके बाद टीएमसी में शामिल हुआ, तो ये जो है सत्ता के लिए लालच में कर रहा है। अभी जो सारी देश में, हिंदुस्तान में जितने पिछले वर्ग है, ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी है, भाजपा के साथ है, इसलिए ये तो हमारा देश का फैशन है, वो टाइप है। इंदिरा ने जहाँ जाते हैं वो जनजाति के साथ मिलते हैं, वही ड्रेस पहनता है। तो हमारा प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी इतना उनका जनप्रियता बन गया, सारी विश्व का सबसे जनप्रिय आदमी बन गया, तो वहाँ ट्राइबल के साथ जाकर वहाँ उनका ड्रेस पहनेंगे, ये तो स्वाभाविक है। तो इसमें ट्वीट करना क्या है, असली बात है सत्ता में नहीं है, इसलिए वो दिमाग भी गड़बड़ हो जा रहा है। इसलिए ममता ने में उनका दल कभी ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी के खिलाफ बोल रहा है, द्रौपदी मुर्मू के खिलाफ बोल रहा है, वो कीर्ति आज़ाद बोल रहा है। ये टीएमसी ने बहुत क्या बोलूँ, घबरा गया आदिवासी समाज से, इसलिए ये बोल रहा है।
सर आपको लगता है इस पूरे मामले में ममता बनर्जी को खुद आकर के सफाई देनी चाहिए और माफ़ी भी एक तरह से मांगी जानी चाहिए, कीर्ति आज़ाद को माफ़ी मांगनी चाहिए सर ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी से?
ये तो होना ही चाहिए, नहीं तो जनता ने देख लेंगे इसके बाद ममता ओनली ट्राइबल नहीं, पिछले वर्ग जितने हैं उनका ऊपर आघात है। वो SC, ST, OBC इस समाज के ऊपर आक्रमण है, ममता ने फिर भी किया, इसलिए वो ममता का क्षमा मांगना चाहिए, कीर्ति आज़ाद को मांगना चाहिए।
So this is with BJP MP Jagannath Sarkar from West Bengal and clearly states that apology should be from the side of Mamata Banerjee and from Kirti Azad as well. And this is not only the attack on tribal community but also an attack on the SC, ST community as well. Along with video journalist Narudeshwar, Harsha Chandwani for Republic TV.
So do you think it's a disrespect to Meghalayan culture and dress and the attire?
This is respecting the person's dress.
So do you demand an apology from Trinamool Congress?
Yes, they should apologize.
And if they do not, the top leaders should come out and explain it.
They should not criticize the Prime Minister of the nation. These are unparliamentary things they are doing.
So the BJP essentially hitting out at TMC and Kirti Azad over his tweet asking for an apology. We have, of course, not yet heard from the TMC on this. Now, in view of the global COVID upsurge, Prime Minister Modi is likely to review the situation related to COVID-19 and hold a high-level meeting this afternoon. All states are ramping up preparations for COVID situation. Chandigarh has now made the RT-PCR test mandatory for patients with flu-like symptoms. Maharashtra's Chief Minister Eknath Shinde will be chairing a review meeting for COVID-19 and preparedness in the states today after after the state cabinet meeting. Now, this comes in view of the COVID situation in the country.
पूरे रेस्ट्रिक्शंस तब अगर ज़रूरत पड़े तो करेंगे. फिलहाल अपने को सिर्फ रेगुलर जो केयर रखना है वो रखना है, बिकॉज फिलहाल सीज़न भी चालू है वायरल इलनेसेस का. तो आप जो अगर कोविड वाले प्रिकॉशंस अब भी लेंगे तो आप एलर्जी वाले इलनेसेस से बचेंगे. धूल वाले हम जो बहुत देख रहे हैं वो एलर्जी की, तो बीमारी से तो बचोगे आप ये प्रिकॉशंस लेंगे तो ये मतलब हमेशा लेना है, लेकिन रेस्ट्रिक्शन कोई नहीं है आप पे. बस अपने प्रिकॉशंस लेते रहो. सिम्टम्स रहे, कोई निशानी रही तो डॉक्टर के पास जाओ और टेस्ट करो.
The TMC leader Kirti Azad has mocked Meghalaya's attire while commenting on Prime Minister Modi's attire in Shillong. He said that it's a woman's floral dress. After the TMC leader mocked the Meghalaya attire, Chief Minister of Assam, Hemanta Biswa Sarma, has condemned the statement, saying that it is saddening to see such disrespect and asked whether the TMC endorses this view. A controversy had erupted after the TMC leader Kirti Azad had mocked the Prime Minister's attire. The BJP has now sought an apology from the TMC on this.
In their hatred for one man and one party, Trinamool Congress has now crossed all the limits, with its leader Kirti Azad mocking the traditional attire worn by the Prime Minister when he was in the Northeast. This is not an attack on Prime Minister Modi, but it is in fact an attack on the culture, on the traditional attire of the tribal people of Meghalaya, of the Northeast. Why, while abusing Prime Minister Modi or the BJP, would you descend to abusing the entire Northeast and their culture? This is the mindset of the Trinamool Congress. Now the Trinamool Congress must clarify, and especially Mamata Banerjee must clarify.
The Telangana Health Director has issued a clarification after he gave religious colour to COVID fight. Crying foul, he said that only part of his speech was published and that it was misconstrued. Karnataka's Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai is likely to travel to Delhi on Monday to meet the party's high command. This comes even as there is a tussle between the state BJP and a rift after KS Ishwarappa and Ramesh Jarkihori skipped the session and attacked the state's leadership. In a fresh provocation by the pro-Khalistani terror group Seeks for Justice, it has threatened Madhya Pradesh's Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. This comes after a pro-Khalistan supporter was detained in Jabalpur. Another drone intrusion has been foiled by the BSF troops in Punjab's Firozpur. The drone was detected in Tantaran, after which BSF troops fired heavily on it, pushing it back. As reports come in of a new COVID variant, Prime Minister is to chair a crucial review meeting today. In his first trip outside Ukraine since the Russian invasion began, Zelenskyy is in the United States.
आपकी किचन और बाथरूम्स को चाहिए MYK लेटिक्रीट SP100 टाइल जॉइंट का ऑलराउंडर. MYK लेटिक्रीट SP100 जोड़ हो तो ऐसा.
क्या हुआ रोहन, क्या सोच रहा है?
रिया, पहली सैलरी मिली है, तुम भी कुछ आइडिया दो. एक्सपेंसेस को कैसे प्लान किया जाए?
रोहन, एक्सपेंसेस के साथ साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान करना भी जरूरी है.
देखो, सैलरी का कुछ हिस्सा घर के रेगुलर खर्चे के लिए और कुछ मैं अपने लिए भी तो सोच सकता हूँ ना. लेकिन इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करूँ?
सिंपल है, NPS में.
NPS में? रिया, अभी तो मैंने कमाना शुरू किया है. इतना आगे के लिए अभी से क्यों पैसे जोड़ूं?
वो देखो, एक एक करके ईंट जोड़ी जाती है, तब जाके एक घर तैयार होता है. वैसे ही अभी से पैसे जोड़कर हम भी अपना रिटायरमेंट सुखी बना सकते हैं.
बात में तो दम है.
NPS कम लागत वाली फ्लेक्सिबल लॉन्ग टर्म योजना है, जिससे आपकी बचत ग्रो होकर पेंशन का लाभ देती है.
अच्छा, फिर तो मैं अभी अपना NPS अकाउंट ओपन करता हूँ.
जो कल की सोचते हैं वो आज से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा जोड़ते हैं.
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं.
एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। Invest once and enjoy guaranteed maturity with life cover with LIC's Dhan Varsha, a single premium plan for your family's security and prosperity.
With Beto's Diabetes Care Program, you get online doctor consultations, all your prescribed medicines and dietitian support on call. Get your complete diabetes management kit and expert advice with Beto's Diabetes Care Program. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
एक दिन मैं सोते सोते गिर गया और मुझे कुछ नहीं हुआ। पता है किसने किया? घोस्ट ने। वो हर बार मुझे बचा लेता है। मिलोगे?
अरे कोई घोस्ट नहीं, रोनी के पापा ही हैं जो उसे सेफ रखते हैं। जैसे हैवेल्स लाइफ शील्ड वायर्स जो दिखते नहीं पर घर को सेफ रखते हैं। ना आग पकड़े न जहरीली गैस छोड़े। वायर्स दैट डोंट कैच फायर।
India welcomes those who further India's pride across the globe. Indian diaspora, partners of New India's growth journey in Amrit Kaal. Come and be a part of the 17th Pravasi Bharati Divas from 8th to 10th January 2023 at Indore, Madhya Pradesh, India. For registration, log on to pbdindia.gov.in.
Your favorite service provider, 10, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो।
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call DEN toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
Guys, just 1 second. Choosing a car for my mom.
What? Online car shopping? Wow, that's so cool, yeah.
शाहरुख ने बताया.
Wait up. Booking a car service.
From here.
क्यों? तुझे शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया?
इसने पूछा ही नहीं. There's so much more जो शाहरुख ने नहीं बताया. It's all on the industry first My Hyundai app. Open a world of possibility with My Hyundai app. One app, many worlds.
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता, उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है. आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया.
Former union minister signed the laces of Rahul Gandhi.
25 kilogram of heroin has been recovered by the BSF. The Kashmiri Pandits here in Jammu are staging protest against Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha.
Top headlines at 12:30. India gears back to COVID mode as fears over BF7 variant grows. Government reviews preparedness, pushes for genome sequencing. Amid the wake of new COVID variant, Prime Minister Modi to chair crucial COVID review meet today. Top health ministry sources say government to issue fresh guidelines for travellers from China. And not just centres, states ramp up preparations and increase surveillance amid the COVID alarm. TMC leader mocks traditional Meghalaya attire. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma gives it back. In his first trip outside Ukraine since the Russian invasion, Zelenskyy lands in US. Biden welcomes the Ukraine president. Thanks for tuning in this Thursday afternoon. We are live and breaking. Our top focus this hour is the alert that's been sounded by the Centre to the states over the rising COVID cases. This, of course, comes in the backdrop of the COVID situation we are seeing in countries including China and others. In the latest, what we are given to understand is that the Prime Minister will be holding a review meet on COVID-19 with the top officials this afternoon. This, remember, of course, comes a day after Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya reviewed the situation and even asked people to follow the COVID-appropriate behavior, including wearing masks in crowded places and getting their booster doses as well. In fact, official sources have said that the random sample testing will also be done at the airports for international passengers arriving from China and other countries. So all eyes on the review meet that will be chaired by the Prime Minister this afternoon. This, of course, in wake of the rising concerns over the new subvariant of Omicron, which is said to have the strongest infection ability. In fact, it has also said that it is highly transmissible, the Omicron variant, and even as it has a shorter incubation period, it is high. It has a high reinfection capacity. We have Amandeep joining us live. Amandeep, how's the situation looking like in Chandigarh? We understand that several steps that have also been taken by the health officials in Chandigarh.
Well, absolutely, Samiksha. After Union Health Minister has sounded the alert, Chandigarh administration has ramped up the testing system in Chandigarh, and in fact, they have rolled out a special directions to all the government hospitals that regarding the OPD checkups and the treatment. And in fact, the patient is suffering from flu-like symptoms, he or she has to undergo the RT-PCR test. And even also, they have rolled out the directions to all the hospitals that kindly prepare with the infrastructure to deal with the COVID-19 testing system, just because now the testing will be scaled up. And right now, Samiksha, we are just standing outside the gynae ward of Sector 16 Government Hospital, where I can show you the visuals that how this COVID-19 behavior is again coming back to the hospitals, first in the government hospitals, and then later on it will be followed by the other society. Masks are very much mandatory, and in fact the gynae has also inside a COVID testing center where the symptomatics are being tested if they have any kind of symptoms. You can see the visuals as well, just because every single state and even the UTs are preparing to deal with the COVID-19 situations. And today the Prime Minister will take the stock of the situation for the entire states, just because the nation cannot afford another COVID-like situation that has happened last year, in fact in 2020. And even that painful cuts cannot be bearable. So now, even now, before getting any kind of worse situation, the government has started preparing.
Yes.
All the UTs and states have started holding their own meetings and even rolling out the directions to the hospitals and the health officials as well to deal with any kind of uncertainty. Yes, Samiksha.
Absolutely. Amandeep, stay with us. You're getting us more information, breaking updates. I'm told Punjab Chief Minister will also be holding a review meet with his ministers and health officials. Give us more details.
Well, absolutely, Samiksha, and this meeting is scheduled at 1 p.m. today itself, and Punjab Chief Minister has called the Health Minister and all the health officials to take the stock of the situation, and that situation will be shared with the Prime Minister during the meeting. And at 1 p.m. this meeting will be holding at Chief Minister's office, and even all the reports regarding the COVID-19 positive cases, regarding the oxygen plants operational in Punjab, regarding the ICU beds, regarding the level 2 beds, how many are having and what is the requirement, and everything should be tabled in that meeting. And accordingly, Chief Minister will roll out the directions what all is supposed to be done to deal with any kind of uncertainty, just because now the international flights are under the screening, and even the Punjab is having 2 international airports, one in Chandigarh, one in Amritsar, where the international flights are landing. So they are even equally on the alert, and that is the reason the Punjab is putting everything on the alert. Punjab Health Minister has already taken all the data regarding the level 2 and the oxygen plants and the ICU beds and the level 2 beds as well. But now they are scaling up. They have rolled out the directions to all the hospitals in Punjab to prepare themselves to deal with any kind of uncertainty regarding the COVID-19 situation. And Chief Minister first takes stock of the situation, that what is the present scenario regarding the COVID-19 preparations and what all can be done after that. That all will be decided in that meeting, and later this data and preparations will be shared with the Prime Minister to ensure every step possible effort to be taken to deal with the COVID-19 situation.
Yes,
Samiksha.
Amandeep, stay with us. So, Amandeep getting us that important information. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, who's all set to hold that review meet at roughly about just about an hour, half an hour from now. At 1 p.m., the Chief Minister of Punjab will be holding a review meet. This, of course, amid the growing concerns over the sub-variant of Omicron. In fact, Madhurima filed this report from the Delhi airport on the screening and the testing that has been ramped up at the Delhi airport.
Reporting from the international arrival at the Indira Gandhi International Airport. Right behind me is the arrival from where we are reporting. And the reason for this reportage is the spike in COVID cases in countries like China, Japan, Brazil and USA, following which the Union Health Ministry has issued an order that random testing and sampling of people arriving from abroad will be done at the IGI airport. Remember, in the last multiple waves that occurred here at in India, here at the IGI airport, multiple checkpoints were made, testing were conducted, and then quarantine facilities were also provided to the travelers that were coming from abroad. Right now, the government is formulating specific guidelines for travelers coming from China, flights coming from China or via China, to make sure that the spread of COVID-19 is curbed and that India does not have to face the kind of situation that it faced in the first and second wave. Though the doctors have said that the Indian population is immunized and is capable of fighting another wave of COVID-19. We report from the IGI airport, and as you can see that it's a heavily crowded airport, which is why to put to put guidelines in place, to put restriction in place will become imperative. And where the health ministry has said that random testing and sampling of people coming from abroad, from foreign lands, will be done specifically from the affected countries. The state government will have to implement all this, and once again this airport to remain cautious and prudent will be getting the facilities to make sure that if anyone is carrying an affected gene, their testing is done, they are made to quarantine, and only when their negative report comes they are allowed to move forward. So all these facilities which were initially put in place, it's highly likely that they will be put back in place only after the state government implements it. They are also mulling a way to implement it. Meetings are being held in the national capital to make sure that a foolproof arrangement is made at the IGI airport, as it welcomes a plethora of population from all over the planet.
All right, so Madhurima there getting us that report from the Delhi airport, where surveillance and thermal screening has been increased. In fact, all those international passengers will have to undergo that mandatory thermal screening at the Delhi airport. In fact, not just in Delhi, several states who have now increased the testing and screening at the airports, and genome sequencing that has also been ordered by the state government. For now, moving on to more news break coming in. This one in relation to the controversy that was sparked by the TMC Neta in relation to the post that he put out, which is now deleted. So that's the breaking news coming in this hour of the TMC Neta, who's now deleted the post that he had earlier put out, in fact, without tendering an apology. The TMC leader who's seems has been forced to delete that tweet in which he'd mocked and ridiculed the Northeast culture. In fact, attire that was mocked at by Kirti Azad. He's now deleted that tweet. Remember a war of words that had also broken out with the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, who had hit back at the TMC leader Kirti Azad. In fact, he'd put out this after the TMC Neta had put out a tweet on Prime Minister's outfit during his Meghalaya visit. We'll go across to Aniruddha as well for more details on that. But remember, the tweet had attracted criticism from BJP leaders and even across the board. The TMC leader, of course, had shared a photo of Prime Minister Modi, and alongside it a screenshot of a female wearing the same multi-floral embroidered dress on an online shopping website. So yes, a lot of criticism and flack that the TMC Neta has drawn over his tweet that he had put out, ridiculing and mocking the Northeast culture, and reactions as well coming in on the same. Latest, of course, being that amid the outrage, Kirti Azad has been forced to delete that tweet. Anuruddha joining us for more on that. Anuruddha, is this on the expected lines? But the question here that the TMC Neta is unapologetic from what it appears, because no apology has come in from him as of yet, but of course he's been forced to delete that tweet.
Yes, Samiksha, definitely deleting a tweet or deleting a comment which has been already made doesn't amount to apology, and there has been a growing demand across the north is that Kirti Azad should immediately tender a resignation, and not only Kirti Azad but for that matter the leadership of Trinamool Congress should also extend an apology for insulting the pride of the people of Meghalaya. Remember, this was a dress of the Khasi tribe which the Prime Minister donned during his visit to Shillong on Sunday, and taking a dig at the Prime Minister, Kirti Azad have tweeted a Photosoft image as being said by most of the BJP leadership. Meanwhile, Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma has also said that Kirti Azad should tender an apology, and also the leadership should make their stand clear. Otherwise, that will amount to tactical support statement which has been made by the.
All right, there seems to be a network problem. We'll connect with Aniruddha again, but the news break, of course, coming in that the TMC leader who's been forced to delete his tweet, from what it appears, in fact, not a word, an apology coming in from him. This, of course, after BJP leaders demanded an apology from the TMC leader for mocking the Meghalaya culture. That's the tweet, in fact, that was earlier put out, still from that tweet that was earlier put out by the TMC Neta. All right, we'll continue to track that story and get you more reactions on this big story. For now, slipping into a very short break. Do not go anywhere. Top Health Ministry sources say government to issue fresh guidelines for travellers from China.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
Mr. Blanc, you're the world's greatest detective, right?
In your words, there has been a murder. The killer wouldn't hesitate to kill again if it covers their tracks.
Wow!
Well, I'm out of here.
Yeah, me too.
Lock the doors. Stay in your rooms. Everyone is in danger.
Are you calling me dangerous?
Well, we'll see.
क्या हुआ रोहन? क्या सोच रहा है?
रिया, पहली सैलरी मिली है, तुम भी कुछ आइडिया दो, एक्सपेंसेस को कैसे प्लान किया जाए?
रोहन, एक्सपेंसेस के साथ साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान करना भी जरूरी है।
देखो, सैलरी का कुछ हिस्सा घर के रेगुलर खर्चे के लिए, और कुछ मैं अपने लिए भी तो सोच सकता हूँ ना, लेकिन इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करूँ?
सिंपल है, एनपीएस में।
एनपीएस में? रिया, अभी तो मैंने कमाना शुरू किया है, इतना आगे के लिए अभी से क्यों पैसे जोड़ूं?
वो देखो, एक एक करके ईंट जोड़ी जाती है, तब जाके एक घर तैयार होता है। वैसे ही अभी से पैसे जोड़कर हम भी अपना रिटायरमेंट सुखी बना सकते हैं।
बात में तो दम है।
एनपीएस कम लागत वाली फ्लेक्सिबल लॉन्ग टर्म योजना है, जिससे आपकी बचत ग्रो होकर पेंशन का लाभ देती है।
अच्छा, फिर तो मैं अभी अपना एनपीएस अकाउंट ओपन करता हूँ।
जो कल की सोचते हैं को आज से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा जोड़ते हैं।
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं, एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है।
जैन 2022 से अब तक रोहन 6 बार डंप हुआ है। हर गर्लफ्रेंड को एक्स के नाम से जो बुलाया, बट रोहन वो तो लहरा रहा है, क्योंकि जियो मार्ट के ग्रैंड फिनाले सेल में शॉपिंग पर मिलेगा अप टू 80% ऑफ। तो साल जैसा भी गया हो, एंडिंग तो जबरदस्त होगी।
All right, news break coming in from the national capital, where the former Delhi prison chief Sandeep Goyal has been suspended by the Ministry of Home Affairs. This action, of course, comes a month after Sandeep Goyal was transferred and asked to report to the Delhi police headquarters. So that's the news break coming in this hour. The former Delhi prison chief has been suspended. And this, of course, is in wake of the letters that were written by the conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar, the extortion charges that he had made. And in the backdrop of this, the update coming in that the former Delhi prison chief has been suspended upon the directions of the MHA. All right, we'll go across to Tanisha as well for more details on that. But the update, of course, coming in that the MHA has ordered a suspension of former Delhi prison chief Sandeep Goyal. He's, remember, accused of extortion amounting to over 12 crore rupees. Sukesh Chandrasekhar, who has accused the jail official of extorting 12.5 crore rupees. So grave charges that the now former Delhi prison chief is facing. This includes extortion of amount of over 12 crore rupees and acting on it, the MHA has ordered suspension of the former Delhi prison chief.
Northeast is a very important part of this country. I'll request people like Kirti Azad that do not bring your. If you hate somebody, it is fine. You have right to hate somebody. But do not do certain things which will alienate this region again from the mainland of the country. So these are unpatriotic things. This is against the interest of India. And I not only condemn Kirti Azad, I like to invite him, come to Northeast, see how vibrant we are. Why Prime Minister Modi is respecting Northeast? Why Prime Minister Modi is feeling so comfortable with the people of Northeast? There must be some reason. You come, you see how vibrant we are, how colorful we are, how we have contributed in building up of this great nation. So I think I cannot say, only one thing I can say, that for the sake, you have right to hate Narendra Modi. But for hating Narendra Modi, don't hate India. Now people have started even hating India. That is wrong.
Facing humiliation, he has now deleted that tweet. Is that enough?
I mean, tweet is not a very important thing. It is not about tweet. It is about the mindset. How Prime Minister is respecting the culture of Northeast. And here is a MP or here is a former MP, part of a political party, do not know how to respect the people of Northeast. They want to expand to Northeast. They want to have vote of Northeast. But they do not want to respect the culture. So this mindset is very dangerous. It is nothing to do about tweet. This mindset is very, very dangerous. All along I have said there are certain people, you hate Narendra Modi, but you also, because Narendra Modi is Prime Minister, you have started hating your army. You have started hating your institution. You have started hating your culture. That is wrong. I think you should not go to that extent. After all, people of Northeast after 2014, first time they are feeling comfortable. They are feeling reassured that there is a Prime Minister who respects us, who adore us, who love us. People like Kirti Azad should not spoil that moment. People like Kirti Azad should not spoil that sentiment. It is against the concept of India.
Sir, Congress
COVID cases are increasing in the country.
Chalo,
and also, sir, Congress has slammed the center that the center has released the COVID to stop the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
I think these are great scientific statements. Only Congress can explain this science.
That's the first response coming in from the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, who has called out the TMC Neta for the post that he had put out earlier, which is now, of course, deleted. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma saying that people like Kirti Azad do not want to respect the Northeast people, but want the votes from the Northeast. So that's the first response coming in from the Assam Chief Minister, hitting out at the TMC Neta over this Twitter post that he had put out earlier, in which he had mocked the Meghalaya culture. So a lot of developments in this case, and of course the tweet that was put out by the TMC Neta, which is now deleted, has drawn widespread flack from the BJP leaders who've demanded an apology from him. But remember, there's not an iota of word that has come in from the TMC Neta. He's not apologized, but has deleted his tweet. Aniruddha, if you could once again talk to us about this response coming in from Himanta Biswa Sarma over the tweet that was put out by the TMC Neta.
Yes, Commissioner Himanta Biswa Sarma has condemned the incident, condemned the tweet made out by TMC leader Kirti Azad, and said that it is people like with the mentality of Kirti Azad for which the Northeast has been alienated from the rest of India for many decades, and it is for people like Kirti Azad that there has been an attempt of alienation which has been producing in the Northeast. The Assam Chief Minister also said that Kirti Azad's tweet is in very bad place. Deleting the tweet for that matter is not important. What is important is the fact that Kirti Azad has made a comment which has hurt the sentiments of the people of Northeast. Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma went further and said that people like Kirti Azad should visit the Northeast and stay.
People like Kirti Azad should visit the Northeast and stay in the Northeast to understand the sentiments and the emotions of the people of Northeast, and also, for that matter, to get a glimpse of the reason behind Prime Minister Narendra Modi's frequent visit to the region. Samiksha.
Yes, Aniruddha, stay with us. Also, since morning, a lot of tribal voices also coming in. Take us through those reactions that have come in since morning. The leaders who've, of course, demanded that apology from the TMC leader. Aniruddha, if you can hear us, all right, we seem to have lost that connection. We'll try connecting with him again. But yes, Himanta Biswa Sarma speaking out and in fact lambasting the TMC Neta who had put out a tweet ridiculing the Meghalaya culture. And a quick roundup of news in brief from across the country. TMC leader Kirti Azad deletes tweet after mocking the Meghalaya attire that was worn by the Prime Minister. While commenting on the Prime Minister's attire in Shillong, he said that it is a women's floral dress. Deputy Speaker of the Assam Legislative Assembly, Numal Momin, has also condemned Kirti Azad's remark on Prime Minister's attire and has demanded an apology from Azad since its comment was an insult to all people of the Northeast.
Mocking our Prime Minister by saying Noriya Nari. This is really shameful on him, and this is not only an insult to our Honorable Prime Minister, and it is an insult to entire tribal people of Northeast India.
BJP MP of West Bengal Jagannath Sarkar has also condemned Kirti Azad and said that Azad's remarks is an attack on not just the tribal community but the SC/STs as well.
पिछले वर्ग जितने हैं उनका ऊपर आघात है, वो SC, ST, OBC इस समाज के ऊपर आक्रमण है। ममता ने फिर भी किया, इसलिए वो ममता का क्षमा मांगना चाहिए, कीर्ति आजाद को मांगना चाहिए।
BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla has also called out TMC Supremo Mamata Banerjee and the TMC leader Kirti Azad by saying that the TMC has stooped to a new low and has now insulted the traditional attire and culture of the tribal community of Meghalaya and the entire Northeast. A very short break, lots coming up on the other side. India goes back to COVID mode as fears over BF7 variant grows. And amid the wake of new COVID variant, Prime Minister Modi to check crucial COVID review meet today.
Your favorite service provider, 10, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो।
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call 10 toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
With Beto's Diabetes Care Program, you get online doctor consultations, all your prescribed medicines and dietitian support on call. Get your complete diabetes management kit and expert advice with Beto's Diabetes Care Program. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
Everyone looks at the world today. At Hyundai, we go beyond with experiences that take us forward. Inspired by our today, we design your tomorrow. Some said electric is the future. We said, why stop there? At Hyundai, we are going beyond mobility, and you are welcome to join us.
आइए नए उत्तर प्रदेश की क्षमता और असीमित अवसरों से सफलता की नई कहानी लिखें। यूपी ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर्स समिट 10 से 12 फरवरी 2023। नए भारत के ग्रोथ इंजन उत्तर प्रदेश में निवेश करें।
क्या हुआ रोहन, क्या सोच रहा है?
रिया, पहली सैलरी मिली है, तुम भी कुछ आइडिया दो, एक्सपेंसेस को कैसे प्लान किया जाए।
रोहन, एक्सपेंसेस के साथ साथ इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लान करना भी जरूरी है।
देखो, सैलरी का कुछ हिस्सा घर के रेगुलर खर्चे के लिए और कुछ मैं अपने लिए भी तो सोच सकता हूँ ना, लेकिन इन्वेस्ट कहाँ करूँ?
सिंपल है, एनपीएस में।
एनपीएस में? रिया, अभी तो मैंने कमाना शुरू किया है, इतना आगे के लिए अभी से क्यों पैसे जोड़ूं?
वो देखो, एक एक करके ईंट जोड़ी जाती है, तब जाके एक घर तैयार होता है। वैसे ही अभी से पैसे जोड़कर हम भी अपना रिटायरमेंट सुखी बना सकते हैं।
बात में तो दम है।
एनपीएस कम लागत वाली फ्लेक्सिबल लॉन्ग टर्म योजना है, जिससे आपकी बचत ग्रो होकर पेंशन का लाभ देती है।
अच्छा, फिर तो मैं अभी अपना एनपीएस अकाउंट ओपन करता हूँ।
जो कल की सोचते हैं वो आज से ही थोड़ा थोड़ा जोड़ते हैं।
पेंशन है तो टेंशन नहीं। एनपीएस में निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है।
protest was called out by Panchamsali Lingayat community in order to demand reservation in 2A category. They demand a reservation in education and in government jobs as well. Protests have now started moving from this location and now they will be going to Vidhan Sauda. Now Vidhan Sauda is 20 kilometers away from this location. Massive crowd is out here. They are leading towards Vidhan Sauda.
Very good afternoon and thank you for tuning in. You're watching the news at 1 p.m. I'm Suresha Savan joining you live on the broadcast. The centre is watching the COVID situation very, very closely. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a review meet this morning and states are also ramping up preparations. We'll get you all the details and also speak with doctors who now tell us how India needs to brace for what lies ahead. That and much more in this edition. First, a quick check of the headlines. India goes back to COVID mode as fears over BF7 variant grow. Government reviews preparedness, pushes for genome sequencing. Amid the wake of new COVID variant, Prime Minister Modi to chair crucial COVID review meet today. Top Health Ministry sources say government is all set to issue fresh guidelines for travellers from China. Not just the centre, states ramp up preparations and increase surveillance. TMC leader mocks traditional Meghalaya attire. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma gives it back. In his first trip outside Ukraine since Russian invasion, Zelenskyy lands in United States. Biden welcomes Zelenskyy. And this is the latest we are bringing for you. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will review the situation related to COVID-19 in the country at a high-level meeting that is slated to happen this afternoon. The meeting comes a day after Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya reviewed the situation and asked people to follow COVID-appropriate behaviour, including wearing masks in crowded places and getting vaccinated. Also, sources suggest that random sample testing will also be done at international airports for passengers arriving from China especially, and those countries where there has been a spike in cases. My colleague Madhurima, who sent us this reaction earlier on, let's listen in. And before we do that, Amandeep is now joining us live from Chandigarh. Amandeep, give us a sense of how the Punjab government is preparing, on whether they are cooperating with the centre as far as stepping up testing and surveillance is concerned, and what's the situation like in Punjab?
Well, exactly, Suesha. So far, Punjab government has decided to follow the line of the centre and in fact the health ministry, that how they have rolled out the direction. And on the other side, simultaneously, Punjab had started preparing to deal with the COVID situation on ground as well. They have also took the stock of the situation, that how many ICU beds are in Punjab, how many oxygen plants are operational, what is the status of the liquid oxygen plants, and in fact what is the status of the child bed with the oxygens. And in fact the numbers is all with the health ministry. And in fact now at 1 p.m. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann is going to hold a review meeting with the health department along with the ministers to take the stock of the situation. And if I can show you the visuals as well, the ministers and the officers are already starting arriving at Chief Minister office where the meeting supposed to take place. And in fact 1 p.m. is the time that was given by the Chief Minister. He has already started from Delhi to take the stock of the situation, just because Suesha, the point is that even now, before getting any positive case of the new COVID, new virus. And in fact, the entire state is on the toes to prepare the situation so that at least there should be no shortage of the beds, there should be no shortage of the ICU beds, in fact, no shortage of the oxygen. And even Health Ministry of Punjab has already rolled out the directions to all the districts to prepare the COVID wards and to dedicate the staff for the COVID-19 patients, to scale up the testing, RT-PCR, as well as rat testing, and even they have also rolled out the direction to take the all kind of precautions to deal with this. But now serious discussions will take place with the Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann during the review meeting, and even fresh directions will be rolled out by the state of Punjab to all the hospitals as well as dispensaries in the state. And in fact, this is a very important meeting before Prime Ministers take stock of the situation for the entire nation. Punjab Chief Minister to hold the review meeting of regarding the COVID situation with Health Ministry as well as all the officials. Yes, Swesha.
Absolutely, Amandeep, and we'll keep coming back to you for updates from Punjab. In the meanwhile, Madhurima also joining us on the broadcast. Madhurima, if I can come to you, developments happening thick and fast in the national capital, especially when it comes to how the centre is bracing, and the Health Ministry now especially ramping up genome sequencing testing surveillance for international passengers coming from China and other countries where there has been a spike in cases. But what more are you picking up in terms of the meeting that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is to chair, where the states will also now put forth a plan of how they are going to be dealing with the COVID situation? I'm not too sure if Madhurima is still with us, but she sent us this report earlier from the airport. Let's take a look at that.
We are reporting from the international arrival at the Indira Gandhi International Airport. Right behind me is the arrival from where we are reporting. And the reason for this reportage is the spike in COVID cases in countries like China, Japan, Brazil and USA, following which the Union Health Ministry has issued an order that random testing and sampling of people arriving from abroad will be done at the IGI airport. Remember, in the last multiple waves that occurred here at in India, here at the IGI airport, multiple checkpoints were made, testing were conducted, and then quarantine facilities were also provided to the travelers that were coming from abroad. Right now, the government is formulating specific guidelines for travelers coming from China, flights coming from China or via China, to make sure that the spread of COVID-19 is curbed and that India does not have to face the kind of situation that it faced in the first and second wave. Though the doctors have said that the Indian population is immunized and is capable of fighting another wave of COVID-19. We report from the IGI airport, and as you can see that it's a heavily crowded airport, which is why to put to put guidelines in place, to put restriction in place will become imperative. And where the Health Ministry has said that random testing and sampling of people coming from abroad, from foreign lands, will be done specifically from the affected countries. The state government will have to implement all this, and once again this airport to remain cautious and prudent will be getting the facilities to make sure that if anyone is carrying an affected gene, their testing is done, they are made to quarantine, and only when their negative report comes they're allowed to move forward. So all these facilities which were initially put in place, it's highly likely that they will be put back in place only after the state government implements it. They are also mulling a way to implement it. Meetings are being held in the national capital to make sure that a foolproof arrangement is made at the IGI airport, as it welcomes a plethora of population from all over the planet.
Madhurima is now joining us live on the broadcast. Madhurima, we just saw that report that you sent to us from the international airport, and extremely important because like you're telling us that random testing at international airports for foreign travelers has already begun. Apart from that, the increased checkpoints that have been placed, and most importantly, how the government now being very careful with the 3 cases that have been detected with the BF7 variant, and now masks are a must. Indoors and outdoors, crowds must be avoided. So those guidelines are back in place now.
Well, yes, absolutely, Swesha. Being prudent, the health ministry is on the 5th gear, and they are taking every measure that is there in the COVID-19 combat book in place. They are implementing all of them. They have already sent out a caution that all in crowded place must wear mask. The COVID appropriate behavior should be put in place, and the common people should start practicing the COVID appropriate behavior, because it's better to be prudent than to regret it later. However, if we talk about the meetings that are being conducted, yesterday there was a meeting that was conducted by the health minister, where ICMR, DG ICMR officials from the INSACOG and the AIMS director, along with those high officials from the COVID task force, all of them attended that meeting where ground rules were laid. And today the Prime Minister will be reviewing the situation and will also be giving his 2 bits to make sure that if any other wave strikes the country, how will India be combating it. He will also be taking the stock of situation in multiple states and will be asking for an action plan as far as the demographics of different states are concerned. Also, he will also be taking the stock of situation of the vaccination, because as far as the booster doses are concerned, the booster doses have not been inoculated. The numbers are not very pleasant. So the health ministry has also said that those specific with morbidities
in fact,
should go ahead and take
breaking
the
news
booster
that we are just flashing on our screens right now. We are picking up from our sources that no non-stop flights from China to India are now allowed. These flights are diverted via Singapore and Hong Kong. Also, the government will review if indirect flights are to be restricted or not. So as far as banning flights from China is concerned, given the situation there, this is one step ahead, because no direct flights from China will now be allowed in India. This is the advisory that has been issued, and we'll try and put out details of what the Indian Medical Association is also saying. But in the meanwhile, as far as the situation at the international airports is concerned in India, no non-stop flights from China are now allowed to land. Only flights that are coming via Singapore or Hong Kong will be allowed in India. In fact, details that are just coming in from our sources that the government is set to review if indirect flights are to be restricted or not. Remember, there has been a massive spike in cases, especially in China, and followed by that are Japan, South Korea, USA. But China in particular, where the situation is worrisome when it comes to COVID. And now the center is stepping up measures, as 3 cases of the BF7 variant have already been detected in India. Remember, it's highly transmissible, which is why the center is now bracing to ensure that we are fighting this to the T. Also, the Indian Medical Association putting out an advisory that must be followed, where face masks should be used in all public places, social distancing must be maintained, regular hand washing with soap and water or sanitizers must be followed, public gatherings like marriages, political or social meetings, etc. must be avoided, international travel must be avoided. The doctor must be consulted in case of any symptoms like fever, sore throat, cough, loose motions, etc. Also, COVID vaccination, including precautionary dose, must be taken at the earliest, and the government advisory that is issued from time to time must be taken very seriously by every single person. Harsha, I want to come to you, because this is important and this must be taken very seriously. No one must be complacent now. The Indian Medical Association putting out a fresh set of guidelines. They've issued this advisory. Take us through the details.
Now, what we are learning is that IMA has issued the fresh advisory amid this COVID outbreak. IMA has clearly stated that the COVID protocol has to be followed. The mask has to be made mandatory. If there are crowded places, if someone is going for a festival, then mask should be worn. And the places where the crowd is not, their proper protocol should be followed. Proper guidelines should be initiated, from social distancing to COVID protocols to using of mask and sanitizer should be initiated. And IMA has clearly stated that there's an upsurge in China, Brazil, US and Japan as well. So India has to be prepared, and therefore all the hospitals have to be prepared for it. IMA has also stated that they will speak to various hospitals as well regarding the preparation, what they are doing ahead of this COVID, because already there are 4 cases which has been reported in India so far, which has come from Jaipur, from Gujarat and Odisha. So this is a new advisory what we are seeking from IMA. Back to you.
Oh yes, that's what is coming in from doctors, as the IMA has issued this fresh advisory. Meanwhile, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia has made a statement in both houses of the Parliament on COVID-19. We'll try and put out those statements. But remember, he had made it very clear that the Health Ministry is now putting out a warning. We must be careful. And an announcement to this effect has been made both in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha on COVID-19. The advisory must be taken very seriously, is what the IMA is saying. And all the precautions that needed to be followed when India was in the thick of COVID are now back. Hence, wearing face masks, both indoors and outdoors, social distancing, avoiding public gatherings, using hand sanitizers, consulting the doctor in case of symptoms, must be followed. Samiksha, you're joining us from the Mumbai newsroom. We understand that Mansukh Mandavia has made a statement in both houses of the Parliament. We'll try and put out those statements as soon as we can. But give us a gist of what the Health Ministry is saying at this point.
Well, Suyesha, absolutely yes. So the Health Ministry has raised an alarm over the COVID situation. A lot of developments expected today. The Prime Minister will be chairing a COVID review meet this afternoon at around 3:30 p.m. Not just this, Mansukh Mandavia, the Health Minister, will also be speaking in the Parliament over how the government plans to tackle if the situation gets, if it gets alarming in the country. For now, let me read out the advisory that's been issued by the IMA, which states that I'll read out the excerpts from this advisory, which states that in view of the surge in COVID cases in several countries, the IMA has appealed to the public, makes an appeal to follow COVID appropriate behavior with immediate effect. As per the available reports, nearly 5.37 lakh new cases have been reported in the last 24 hours from countries including US, Japan, South Korea, France and Brazil, among others. In fact, not just this, India for that matter has reported 145 new cases in last 24 hours itself, of which 4 cases are of the new China variant, which is BF7. So that's the important point here. Of the 145 cases that have been reported in the last 24 hours in the country, 4 cases are of that sub-variant of Omicron. Remember, it has a high transmissible rate as well. Not just this, the IMA goes on to mention, in fact, it stated that it has appealed to the government to upscale the preparedness for any such situation as seen in 2021 by issuing necessary instructions to the concerned ministries and departments to make available the emergency equipments, oxygen supply and ambulance services. Yes, so all of this is very much, something which the IMA as well as several the states have also taken stock of. They've issued notices. They've said that how genome sequencing, of course, has also been ramped up in several of the states. An advisory that has been issued for the airports as well, where thermal screening has been made mandatory for all those who are coming from abroad, especially from China. So all eyes will be on that meet that will be chaired by the Prime Minister today at around 3:30 p.m. And yes, that statement by the Health Minister this afternoon. So, Yesha.
Absolutely, Samiksha, and very important that no one must be complacent at this point, given what India has already been through in the second wave, and we understand what the consequences of severe COVID can be. We also understand that BF7, this variant where 3 cases have already been detected in India, is a very, very highly transmissible variant, and which is why the centre is now ramping up measures. States also reviewing preparedness, and it is time to now be on our feet. This is the next breaking that is just coming in, where UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath held a meeting with a team of 9 officials over COVID-19 today. He told these officials to create awareness about wearing masks in crowded places. He also instructed them to conduct genome sequencing of every positive case. He's also said that the pace of COVID testing and precautions to be taken must be increased. So it is vaccination and taking the booster dose that is on priority for the UP government. Also, genome sequencing of every positive case that the Chief Minister instructs his team must be done on priority. And he's also told his officials to create awareness, issue a wider campaign to tell people to wear masks in crowded places and both indoors and outdoors. Samiksha, I want to come back to you. This is important because now we are also putting out details of how the states are bracing up. And this is the UP Chief Minister now putting down a set of guidelines, putting out a roadmap for his team to what needs to be followed in the state. Samiksha?
Well, yes, Suisha. So yes, simultaneously, all the state chief ministers are holding the COVID review meet. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, from Yogi Adityanath to even Uttarakhand Chief Minister, the Delhi Chief Minister for that matter, all the state chief minister have taken cognizance of the COVID alarm that's been sounded by the centre. This, of course, in wake of the situation that we are seeing unfold in China, which is only deteriorating from bad to worse in China. So yes, as a notice by the IMA also clearly states of the 145 cases that have been reported in India in the last 24 hours, of those 4 cases are of the new variant, the sub-variant of Omicron. Now, just to tell you a little more about this new variant which has been detected, it is said to be quite transmissible for that matter. It has a high infection rate as well. So yes, there are concerns over it, and what we have seen in the last few days is that the centre has definitely taken stock of the situation in the country, with the Prime Minister also all set to chair that review meet at 3:30 p.m. Mansukh Mandavia, who will be addressing the Parliament this afternoon. In fact, just to tell more about the measures that have been taken by the states, all this while talking about Maharashtra, where thermal screening of international passengers has been made mandatory. In Chandigarh, the RT-PCR testing has been made mandatory. Talking about Uttar Pradesh as well, where, as you can see in those visuals, the UP Chief Minister holding a COVID review meet. In UP, strict surveillance is being observed at these airports, especially of those passengers coming from abroad, including China, the US and Japan as well. Talking about Karnataka for that matter then, where COVID samples have been sent for genome sequencing. Now remember, genome sequencing is something that the government, that the centre is really pushing for it to get more samples to check whether the cases that are being reported, how many of them are of that new variant of sub-variant of Omicron. So Yesha, we'll get more details on that, but yes, that's the update coming in for now, that all the state chief ministers are taking stock and are holding those COVID review meets.
Absolutely. And Samiksha, our team reporting from every state on how the states are now bracing up, how they are reviewing the COVID preparedness. Varshini also is getting us all the details from the ground of what is happening in the state of Tamil Nadu. Varshini, a quick word from you before we slip into a short commercial break.
the states are on high alert because of the COVID-19 threat that is posing the country yet again. Even Tamil Nadu, there is a meeting currently ongoing, and there are several steps that are being discussed right now as we speak to face this threat once again in the country. While in the center there is many meetings going on, and the health minister is also going to address in the parliament. The Tamil Nadu government and the other state governments are also trying their best to come up with the precautionary measures to avoid the spread of COVID. We'll bring you all the details right after a short break.
Your favorite service provider, 10, which gets you the best of entertainment, is back with something very special.
अभी मजा आएगा ना भिड़ो.
Your 3 favorite movie channels are bringing in super blockbuster films with features like wider picture and crystal clear sound straight to your home.
Wow. Oh, I love that expression.
To subscribe to your favorite channels, contact your local cable TV operator today or call 10 toll-free number 1-800-419-2020 now.
Whenever I had ice cream or cold water, I would experience a sharp shooting sensation, so I just kept ignoring it. Even my hot chai was giving me the same amount of discomfort. My dentist recommended Sensodyne, so now I can be completely carefree and sip my hot cup of tea. It really works.
Pooja, you left the job and still so cool?
Bro, new challenges bring new opportunities.
Oh, really?
Seriously, Rahul, my entire house, now it's an online retail store. Look.
Wow. But money?
Few years back, I'd invested my Diwali bonus.
And now you have LIC's ULIP plan Nivesh Plus. Invest once, get the benefit of both life insurance and maximized returns based on market trends.
One sec, Rahul.
Madam, you are double cool.
In the proceedings. But when all the things were going on, when they were in well, and at that time also including the leader of opposition did not wear the mask, this shows how their attitude and their care towards the society and care towards the guidance and the direction and the advice of the health ministry, and at large we should take care of our people because we are the leaders. We should set an example. But unfortunately, even that is violated, and I once again urge them not to behave like that, and I condemn the attitude. हिंदी आप बोलते हैं, मैं बोलूँ क्या? मैं आपका गला ठीक है तो बोल दो.
गला तो बहुत बुरा है.
आज हाँ आज राज्यसभा में जो कुछ भी हुआ सारे देश ने और मीडिया भी देखा है. आज इंडो चाइना पर चर्चा के कारण इन लोगों ने फिर से रक्कस क्रिएट किया और वेल में आया. जब वेल में आया, बार बार हमारे अध्यक्ष महोदय ने, चेयरमैन साहब ने फोल्डेड हैंड रिक्वेस्ट किया, नमस्कार करके रिक्वेस्ट किया, अपने सीट में जाइए, वो तो नहीं किया. और व्हेन ही वाज ऑन हिज लेग्स ऑल्सो, वो खड़े होके भी रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे थे, तब भी माना नहीं. बाद में जब चेयरमैन साहब ने कहा कि लीडर ऑफ द हाउस एंड लीडर ऑफ द अपोजिशन मेरे चेंबर में आइए, हम बातचीत करेंगे इसके बारे में, तब एकदम अहंकार से इनको टुकरा दिया गया. इट वॉज जस्ट रिजेक्टेड. तो ये एक रूम में चर्चा करने का विषय नहीं है, मैं नहीं आऊंगा, ऐसे उन्होंने कहा. खड़गे जी ने, लीडर ऑफ द अपोजिशन. ये तो बहुत बड़ा गंभीर विषय है. ऐसे स्पीकर चेयरमैन साहब को इंसल्ट करना, चेयरमैन को डायरेक्शन को इंसल्ट करना, चेयरमैन को रिक्वेस्ट को इंसल्ट करना. चेयरमैन रिक्वेस्टेड, इवन रिक्वेस्ट वाज नॉट गिवन दी ड्यू रिगार्ड्स. ये बहुत बड़ा गंभीर बात है। ये जो एटीट्यूड श्री मल्लिकार्जुन खड़गे जी का है, आप किसी को संतुष्ट करने के लिए आपका जो अब तो अध्यक्ष है, लेकिन फिर भी आपको किसी को आपके पार्टी में संतुष्ट करना पड़ता है। यू शुड कीप हैप्पी एंड यू शुड अपीज सम ऑफ योर लीडर्स हु आर वॉकिंग इन दी सम पार्ट ऑफ द कंट्री। यू हैव टू प्लीज देम, यू हैव टू अपीज देम। इसके लिए आप करते होंगे, लेकिन कम से कम संविधान के जो पद है उसका गर्व और मर्यादा का रखना आपका जिम्मेदारी है। आपने बहुत बड़ा सीनियर नेता है, इसीलिए ये जो उन्होंने कहा है, मैं चेयरमैन साहब का डायरेक्शन मानूंगा नहीं। इट इज ए वेरी वेरी कंडेमेबल। मैं घोर निंदा इसका करता हूं। इसके साथ ही साथ सुबह से आप सब देख रहे हो, माननीय स्पीकर साहब और माननीय चेयरमैन साहब एक निवेदन किया था कि कोविड की स्थिति, जो कोविड बढ़ रहे हैं सारे दुनिया में, वो देखते हुए सब अपील किया हमको एक एग्जाम्पल सेट करने के लिए, उदाहरण सेट करने के लिए दोनों ने सुबह ही अपील किया, कृपया सब मेंबर्स, सब स्टाफ इधर मास्क पहन के पार्टिसिपेट करिए प्रोसीडिंग्स में। वो भी वायलेट किया। जब सब मिलकर वेल में आ रहे थे तब भी एक भी व्यक्ति मास्क पहना नहीं था। और जो स्पीकर और चेयरमैन 2 मिनट पहले अपील की थी वो भी उन्होंने ठुकराया। मीन्स द मेंटालिटी, टेंडेंसी क्या है, टेंडेंसी स्पीकर और चेयरमैन का जो आदेश है, चेयर का आदेश है, उसका उल्लंघन करने का उन्होंने निर्णय लिया है। ऐसे उनका व्यवहार था और उनका वक्तव्य था। ये दोनों घटना हम घोर निंदा करते हैं और आग्रह करते हैं कम से कम आप चेयरमैन और स्पीकर का तो रिस्पेक्ट देने का जो इस परंपरा है, ये परंपरा को आगे बढ़े।
Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi briefing the media on the kind of ruckus that the opposition created over the Tamang face-off, levying this big charge of how this behavior is absolutely unacceptable, and it is okay to have a discussion, but such unparliamentary behavior in the House is condemnable. Prahlad Joshi along with Piyush Goyal on your screens right now, where this is about how the opposition has been creating a ruckus over the Tawang face-off, demanding a discussion and saying that the government is not agreeing to that, but the government slamming the Congress for disrupting the parliament. And we shift our focus back to the COVID situation in India, how the centre is stepping up, how Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to review the situation. He will be holding a meeting at close to 2:30. States are also ramping preparedness, reviewing the situation very closely, increasing the procedure of genome sequencing and testing. And most importantly, states will also now be accountable to the centre on how they are preparing to fight COVID. This in particular has arisen after the situation in China has worsened. It is absolutely out of control, and the BF7 variant that has led to why things are out of control in China is now been detected in India. 3 cases of the BF7 variant that are now positive in India, and genome sequencing has been placed on utmost priority. Madhurima sent us this report from the international airport a short while ago, where, remember, random testing has begun and no direct flight from China is now allowed in India. Let's take a look at what's happening at the Delhi International Airport.
We are reporting from the international arrival at the Indira Gandhi International Airport. Right behind me is the arrival from where we are reporting. And the reason for this reportage is the spike in COVID cases in countries like China, Japan, Brazil and USA, following which the Union Health Ministry has issued an order that random testing and sampling of people arriving from abroad will be done at the IGI airport. Remember, in the last multiple waves that occurred here in India, here at the IGI airport, multiple checkpoints were made, testing were conducted, and then quarantine facilities were also provided to the travelers that were coming from abroad. Right now, the government is formulating specific guidelines for travelers coming from China, flights coming from China or via China, to make sure that the spread of COVID-19 is curbed and that India does not have to face the kind of situation that it faced in the first and second wave. Though the doctors have said that the Indian population is immunized and is capable of fighting another wave of COVID-19. We report from the IGI airport, and as you can see that it's a heavily crowded airport, which is why to put put guidelines in place, to put restriction in place will become imperative, and where the health ministry has said that random testing and sampling of people coming from abroad, from foreign lands, will be done specifically from the affected countries. The state government will have to implement all this, and once again this airport, to remain cautious and prudent, will be getting the facilities to make sure that if anyone is carrying an affected gene, their testing is done, they are made to quarantine, and only when their negative report comes, they are allowed to move forward. So all these facilities which were initially put in place, it's highly likely that they will be put back in place only after the state government implements it. They are also mulling a way to implement it. Meetings are being held in the national capital to make sure that a foolproof arrangement is made at the IGI airport, as it welcomes a plethora of population from all over the planet.
So that's my colleague Madhurima giving us a sense of how things have changed at the New Delhi airport. Remember, international passengers are already being tested on a random basis. Apart from that, several checkpoints that have been increased, and most importantly, a direct flight from China is not allowed into India anymore. It will now be diverted via Singapore or Hong Kong. Also, the centre is reviewing the decision on whether indirect flights also need to be banned at the moment. The aviation guidelines by and large are unchanged, but random testing that has been heightened at the international airport. And most importantly, Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya, who is to put out a statement in both houses of the Parliament, as the centre is now stepping up preparation. Most importantly, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is also set to review the situation in a meeting that will be chaired by him at about 2:30, and centres also preparing from their end to how they need to chart out a roadmap to fight COVID. 4 cases of the Omicron subvariant BF7 that have been detected in India. Meanwhile, Jairam Ramesh has now put out a tweet that reads, and I quote, 4 cases of Omicron subvariant BF7 driving Chinese surge were reported in Gujarat and Odisha in July, September and November. Health Minister writes a letter to Rahul Gandhi yesterday. Prime Minister is reviewing the situation today. Bharat Jodo Yatra will enter Delhi day after. Aap chronology samjhiye. So that is coming in from Congress senior leader, who is now raising that letter that was sent by the health minister to Rahul Gandhi over suspending the Bharat Jodo Yatra after several cases were found positive from that Bharat Jodo Yatra, where no COVID norms are being followed. And the Congress has been blaming the centre, saying that it is the BJP that is scared of Rahul Gandhi's popularity on social media, and which is why they want the Bharat Jodo Yatra suspended. Meanwhile, the COVID scare that is now spreading, and Health Minister having written a letter to Rahul Gandhi yesterday asking if the Bharat Jodo Yatra can be postponed. Prime Minister is to review the situation today, but the Congress linking all of this to political vendetta. That's the tweet that has been put out by Jairam Ramesh. where he is saying that the chronology must be understood, and also raising how 4 cases of BF7 were detected in India in July, September and November in Gujarat and Odisha. The reason why the centre is now leaving no stone unturned to ensure that India is ready to fight any situation as far as COVID-19 is concerned, but the Congress links it to politics again. Yes, the Congress questioning the government's COVID warning. This, as the Health Minister had made it very clear that the ministry is putting out details, so there is no complacency. But the Congress's brazen, ignorant response, where they once again link this to political vendetta, they're saying that it is the BJP scared of Rahul Gandhi's popularity during the Bharat Jodo Yatra and hence they want it suspended. However, the centre is now ramping up COVID preparedness given the seriousness of the situation and the surge in China that is now absolutely out of control. Remember, Prime Minister Modi is also to hold a meeting at about 2:30. The IMA has also issued a fresh advisory where they are now telling people to wear masks indoor and outdoor again. They are saying that sanitizers must be used and every sort of precaution that must be taken. COVID norms should not be neglected. But here is the Congress playing politics over COVID again. Samiksha, I want to come to you as we stay with this particular tweet showing the mindset of the Congress. We know what happened in the past. We know how they also spoke about the vaccination that was indigenous. We know how they always spread a negative sentiment when it came to fighting COVID or especially getting vaccinated. And now once again politics that is being played at a time when instead the message that must be sent out is that we need to be careful, we need to brace ourselves. But far from that, the Congress is blaming the BJP, saying that this is nothing but an attempt to run the Congress down.
That's right, Suyesha, and you know, this is as ridiculous as it gets and not surprising at all that the Congress is once again at it, doing politics at a time when there is an alarm that needs to be raised, when people need to be, very cautious as to whether they are following the COVID norms or not, and cooperate with the centre and states. It's a time when the state and centre need to work in tandem to make sure that the measures are being taken cognizance of, the measures being announced by the centre, and people follow those COVID norms. In fact, just to read out this tweet that has been put out by Jairam Ramesh, where he says 4 cases of Omicron subvariant BF7 driving Chinese surge were reported in Gujarat and Odisha in July, September and November. Health Minister writes a letter to Rahul Gandhi yesterday. Prime Minister is reviewing situation today. Bharat Jodo Yatra will enter the national capital day after. आप chronology समझिए. So this is again a jibe that Jairam Ramesh has taken at all the state governments, where the 4 variants of that sub-variants of Omicron have been reported till now, which includes states Gujarat and Odisha, saying that why the government failed to act all this while, and why is it only now when the Bharat Jodo Yatra is set to enter the national capital. Now remember, just yesterday the health minister had written a letter to the Rajasthan chief minister as well as Rahul Gandhi to follow those COVID norms, to make sure that there is COVID appropriate behavior that is observed in those rallies that he's carrying out. But here we see again politics, all out politics by the Congress, not surprising at all, saying that when the COVID cases were reported, the variants were reported in the month of July itself from these states, why is it only now that the Prime Minister is reviewing the situation? Suyesha.
Absolutely, and that once again reflects the mindset of the Congress, Samiksha, because we must have learnt our lessons by now, given what India has gone through 2 years of COVID, especially in the second wave. And time for our netas to act more responsibly, especially when it comes to something as serious as COVID, and how it crosses all political lines, it crosses all differences between anyone. This is about the health of the entire country, And instead of putting out a positive message on vaccination, on taking the booster dose, on ensuring that COVID norms are followed, here is the Congress saying that the BJP is just trying to run them down, whereas all political parties collectively need to come together to fight this and not have these differences, not reflect this to the people of the country.
Talk about the measures that have been taken so far by the centre as well as states. Now remember, the Prime Minister, as you mentioned earlier, is all set to hold that COVID review meet today at 3:30 p.m. We are expecting a statement by the Health Minister as well in both the houses today. The centre, of course, trying to work in tandem with the states as well with the thermal screening, which has also been announced by the centre as well as those states that thermal screening is essential, mandatory for those flyers who are coming from these countries where COVID surge is being reported, including China, of course, but even Japan and other countries, in fact Japan and US for that matter. The cause of concern here is that how to control the sub-variant of Omicron in the country. Now again, to just give a recap, more than 145 cases, at least 145 cases have been reported from India in the last 24 hours. Now of this, one of the cases that have been reported till now, 4 variants of the sub-variant of Omicron has been reported. This variant is said to be highly transmissible. So yes, there are concerns. The government and the centre need to work in tandem, and just a little more about the measures that have been taken by the states so far, including Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and several of these states where are holding COVID review meets. Thermal screening that have been announced, genome sequencing which has also been ramped up in all these states. So yes, the need of the hour is to not let our guard down and to observe COVID appropriate behavior. So yes.
Absolutely, Samiksha, and which is why we at Republic here are tracking every development very, very closely. All eyes on that high-level meet that the Prime Minister is to chair at close to 3:30 p.m. Also, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya putting out that statement in both houses of the Parliament, and the centre bracing up in every which way. Even the states are ramping up preparedness, but this is for the Congress to understand that this is not a fight that they need to level up at this time with the BJP. This is really about the health of everyone, especially after what we've gone through in COVID during the second wave. And Samiksha putting out every single detail of what is happening at this point. 3 cases of the BF7 variant that have been detected in India is a matter of huge concern, because this is the very variant that is responsible for the surge in cases in China, and why it is absolutely out of control. This variant is highly transmissible, and that indeed is the concern. However, the IMA also putting out a set of guidelines that must be followed, and this is in public interest that every Neta must understand at this point. It is the nation's interest that must be held over and above everything, Samiksha. Meanwhile, we continue to put out reports from all the international airports where random sampling has been heightened. The procedure of genome testing, that needs to be increased, and that is a very clear command coming in from the centre to every state as well. Certain states that are implementing this on the ground level, and most importantly, no flight from China, direct flight to be precise, that will now be allowed into India. It can be an indirect flight via Singapore or Hong Kong, but no direct flight from China is allowed to land in India anymore. The medical fraternity continues to say that it is not a matter of panic just yet, and all sort of rumors must be avoided. However, precautions must be taken, Samiksha, and that is important.
Well, that's right, Suyesha. So, yes, of course, a set of guidelines that have been issued by the centre. The centre, of course, having also written to all these states to announce these measures to control the rise in COVID cases. To talk a little